Hello. Welcome to Christmas Days. I'm your host, Dad. And these are my children.
No.
Yep.
Hi, Daddy.
No.
You already have a DM's info.
Yeah.
There it is.
Half the table has called you that now. So
Look.
that's good.
If I had done it, it would have just been creepy, so. Like, everyone would have been like, ew.
Hey, guys.
When Randy does it, it's just hot.
Yeah.
No,
It's
it's
true.
No, people just laugh it off rather than think it's sincere in any way.
We'll
'Cause
build
No, I
about
thought it was
15
sincere.
seasons of sexual tension.
Ooh, with Jim Pam?
We're going to do like a supernatural where we never pay it off.
Oh, and then the gay one goes to
Yeah.
super hell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably me.
Super hell. Definitely bound for it.
Yeah.
You've killed more babies than me.
True.
We were just talking about the
hesitation.
good day today. The United States is trying to codify laws for gay marriage and stuff, and interracial marriage. I didn't know that was. I thought that was under the Civil Rights Act. I guess it was. It's not. Anyway, the marriage part isn't. But we were listening to that lady cry, the senator or whatever, that was really fucking sad. And look, it's gonna lubricate me for a while.
Lubricate you?
Why do you need to be lubed?
What do you mean?
No,
Everyone needs
okay.
should-
Everyone
should
needs a
be-
little lube,
yes.
okay?
Yeah.
Everybody. Anyway, so she spit on a little bit with that, but we were doing a joke about how she was really just worried about all the ways to come, and I decided that they should be privy to this since it's charisma saves, and it happened without them here, and I feel like it felt a little bit like cheating.
Yeah.
To not like let chat in on the charisma saves that wasn't
That's true.
that they didn't
That's
take
true.
part in. So just wanted to let you guys know.
We can't deprive them of the cum content.
I want to point out that I haven't been the perpetrator of charisma saves for a while, so I
That's
think
good.
That's,
The
I'm just-
perpetrator.
The perpetrator.
yeah, it's something that happens to the stream, and I'm not responsible.
Smart.
I'm present, I enjoy it, but I'm not responsible.
Alex has uploaded the last 2 VODs of this just recently, so if you want to watch those again or haven't seen them, those are available. Sarah and I've had major breakthroughs in the last few days. I talked about this on regular stream, but now that we're on the D&D stream, the breakthroughs are deep and stupendous. So some changes have come to Sarah's class for the better, because this is why we play tested it. It wasn't where I wanted it, and now it's where I think we both want it. Really, really perfect. So there's going to be a Symbiote Warlock 2.0 class coming out in a while, probably after the holidays, because we're going to play test a little bit, but a brand new one. It's not like the other one. So if you bought the other one, thank you. I hope you enjoy that. You can choose to keep playing that one if you want. I think it's inferior, but I mean, I do. I made it myself. This one, you might not notice a lot aesthetically at first, but as we go on, it'll be more tailored towards specifically what Sarah wanted out of the class, and I think it's for the better. So it's a little less broad and a little more pointed and less confusing and good. So that class will be coming out. We're still playtesting Alex's class, and we have made changes a couple times throughout it. So the 1.0 is around the corner. I still have some kinks I'm trying to work out. I think we're in a really good spot, but I think I might change some stuff up and make it a little bit more simple. But it's in a good spot, balance-wise, for sure. And then we just, Randy and I are playtesting currently a new system that I'm not going to talk about that'll come up in game, but a new system that we sort of kicked around ideas for, but I think this is going to be a good mechanic. So Randy's sort of a co-author on this, and we have, I guess, a custom spell we're working on.
Yeah.
Sort of. That will have already been a thing that we've sort of done on stream a little bit. But anyway, we've got a lot of stuff coming out, and I'm gonna make like a package for it. And Sarah and I have been talking about a coffee so that you guys can get direct downloads. So you don't have to go through DM's Guild, which I think is a sucky apparatus to buy shit from.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's really frustrating.
Yeah, it's a really. I don't
We'll
like.
just put
I don't
it
like
on,
even
like, probably
being the
a
guy
coffee
uploading it. I don't
store.
even enjoy that process. So, yeah, I think we're gonna do a coffee store. I'm gonna re-upload a bunch of stuff. Sarah's gonna update the art for some of it. Not probably the Sanguine, not the Sorcerer, probably just yours.
Yeah.
But anyway, we're gonna have some stuff coming out, some supplements for people that want to do stuff, and I think really good systems that could fit into any game, whether you play Cruiser Stacy or not. That's an announcement. I feel like we talked about an actual fucking announcement.
We did a real announcement about
Wow.
D&D things.
Yeah, but I thought you and I had talked about another thing that I feel like I'm forgetting right now, but it was like right after last session. So
Another thing?
yeah, I feel like we had something else. And it
Did we
pinged me,
mention
and
no game next week?
That's probably a thing that I should mention. No
Yeah,
game
no
next
game
week.
next week.
We're gone in Louisiana, and then the week after that I think is Christmas.
Christmas.
It's pretty close, yeah.
So we
It's
might
the
play.
22nd.
It's the 22nd. I mean, I could totally play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
It's up to everybody. For
Um,
free.
yeah, and then we're doing Friendsmas on I think a Friday. Isn't it the day after?
Friday is the 23rd, so Saturday is the 24th.
It's
Saturday.
a Saturday.
Okay, that's fine then.
Because
Yeah,
Sunday
perfect.
is Christmas.
Sunday's Christmas. And we're not playing Sunday game. Okay. I'm just sort of trying to get this all in my head. Anyway, I think that's all the Anansi boys. Do we have any other things? Phobe's crying. Great. Perfect. Supplements.
Kirstie Alley died.
Someone had an amazing tweet. And it was like, I'm so glad Kirstie Alley died after Trump went down, and like she got to watch Trump lose. R.I.P. Kirstie Alley, I guess. Mom in that movie where the bees killed that kid? Question mark. Is that true? I don't know Kirstie
What?
Alley's body of work. Was she in that? She was in
Macaulay Culkin movie?
Cheers? She was in Cheers, which I didn't
Star
watch.
Trek 2. Not
Sure.
3. They recast.
I'm sure I watched it. I know I've seen her and stuff.
Look Who's Talking 1, 2, and
Oh,
Look
wow.
Who's Talking
Look
Oh,
who's talking
God.
now.
now. Yeah.
Me!
Tooth Fairy.
Last we left off, anomalous investigations had traveled north of the city of Larock in the mysterious and dark country of the Halvian Vales, a place that its face forward seems like an industrialized, burgeoning type of city, or type of country, but seems to hold on to these social conventions, some interesting outlooks on outsiders and people from other countries and other physicalities. You traveled there to Lord Carmine's estate, being hired by a man named Dr. Crapplebottom, who was looking for his daughter, Belinda, who had married Lord Carmine. They had lost touch. You traveled there, met with Lord Carmine, who seemed like a busy but relatively amicable guy, is letting you stay at his large estate. With very little persuasion needed. You sort of just asked if you could stick around, and he's like, I guess there's room, so you can. You were allowed free reign of the place. There seems to be no secrets here, and it's a kind of a, I guess an above-table term, like a kind of a Bahamian sort of like he didn't wear shoes, like there's lots of sunlight, there's plants everywhere, it's very minimalist. It, like, one could see it as creepy, but another could see it as eccentric and just rich people shit. You found some rooms. You encountered the house servant Mary, who seems to show up at random areas and is waiting for you and looking for you at certain times and ready to serve you as you walk around corners. You decided to take a walk, and you walked the courtyard, traveled the paths, walked past a giant tree with its big empty boughs, and traveled along a cobblestone path into these dark birch woods. These black birch trees. And as you did, you found your way to a well. An old well with what looked to be the foundation of an old building nearby. Nondescript, but birds hovering over it. And when you pulled the bucket up, there were dozens of these little animals that were just sort of like dried out, and animals get when they sit there and just sort of desiccate. Sitting at the bottom of this well. And it was there you encountered the spiders that live in there, who tried to bite you and get you. And while that was happening, a few of you experienced the odd sensation of being sort of like thwapped with something on the back of your legs. And you could have sworn tiny kids running around in the woods or something. Curious about this, you followed the sound north to where you found this black birch fence in the woods. You hopped over it easily, like a cattle fence, and eventually broke a tree line where you found a small homestead with a tiny little smokestack, a little blue sort of painted, tiny garden in there. And sort of up on this hill a little bit. And you walked up to it and knocked on the door. And inside was who you believed to be, though you did not ask or confirm it, the woman that looks very much like Belinda Carmine Crabblebottom. Or Crabblebottom Carmine. You don't know.
She hyphenated.
She did hyphenate. And two small kids that look very much like the kids that were depicted in in Carmine's office on the portrait as well, though not in wheelchairs. You got back your lantern that they stole, confirming that they were there, and walked away. You made your way to your rooms, and it is there that we pick up. So, you are in your rooms at night. Is there anything you would like to do in this time? I know that you had done some preparation. You had lit the sides of the room and made sure that there weren't any shadows to the best of your ability and tried to rest. You were playing Tail with Ricky and feeding him cheese, and you were eating some cheese, and you were just chilling in your room, spying with your
Mr. Buttons.
flock of buttons.
They had it converged into one, and I was mostly watching Carmine's room.
After an hour, but from what I recollect, and there was also a lounge built for you temporarily in the front room next to the fountain that you can spend time at in the evening if you'd like. There doesn't seem to be, it's not late evening. It's like just past sunset. If you're tired, you can go to sleep. If not, you can do other things. There are many things in this house going on. You traveled through with Mr. Buttons and his many flocks. You traveled through the duct system and spied on one of them or all of them. Soren.
Soren for sure.
Do you remember specifically what you spied on him for?
Because he was doing that weird candle ritual shit.
Oh yeah. So and you described that, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where we're at this evening. You are all in your separate rooms right now. But again, I'll remind you that the outward-facing wall that faces in towards the courtyard is full glass. The whole thing, including the ceiling, comes up to maybe by the first third of the ceiling. So the sunlight of the morning will come right into this room. And it is open. It feels a little bit... You ever seen Mandy? You guys haven't seen Mandy? We should watch Mandy together.
Sure.
Well, Nicolas Cage and his wife in the movie have a bedroom, and the whole bedroom is fucking glass walls, and they live in the woods, and it
I
makes
hate
me
that.
yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah, and so that's the feeling you get. Like there's a strange lack of security in this place, even though it's like it just points into the courtyard, but it just feels open. You feel almost like you're being watched, but there's no real like. You all can, let's say you all roll natural 20s on your perception checks when you're a little paranoid about that. Like, nothing shows up. There's nothing out there. It's just... and oddly, there's no Lord Carmine around right now. You don't know where he is. He didn't say anything to you. He didn't give you any heads up about anything. It's a very odd experience being in someone's house, facility, you don't know, and sort of being just let go. Like, there's no leash on you. It's very odd. So, what are you guys doing tonight?
I'll be up listening through Mr. Buttons while I write notes in the ledger about our findings today.
Okay.
So I can make note of what we've discovered so
Mm-hmm.
far.
Now again, that lounge was sort of built for you. If any of you want to spend time out there, there's just your individual bedrooms. You can't see each other, but you suspect if you pressed your face up against the wall of the window and looked, and somebody else pressed their face, you could probably see that to some extent.
I'm probably just gonna stay in my room with the portable typewriter and start working on my next short story.
Okay. So you can hear through Mr. Buttons the not super loud, but the rest of you, it's very quiet in here. There's not like running air and air conditioning or whatever. There is a passive duct, though, that runs through that allows for the air to not stagnate. And you can hear, depending on where you're at in the rooms, I believe you're on the corner, right? Or you're
Yeah, I was on the corner.
and then corner, you,
He was on the
you, then you. So you can hear, to some extent, the typewriter and each other's noises a little bit. Not very loud, but kind of like they had a roommate.
Didn't I have that dream last week? I can't remember.
Yeah, you
Okay.
had
Yeah.
you're already sleeping, and you're having this dream, I suppose. Yeah.
Wanted to make
Although it
sure.
doesn't have to take that long.
I was still on the same page.
Yeah.
Mm.
Are you doing anything?
I'm just gonna eat cheeses and sleep.
Okay.
Just like real life.
Yeah.
It's a good life.
That's a good life. So you begin to eat cheeses and sleep.
Just falling asleep with little cheese crumbs on there.
Oh, I don't leave the crumbs. I make sure they're in me before I
No
Wow.
go to
cheese
sleep.
wasted.
So you've had a long day. You take a sleepy. You gorge yourself on the sleep too, and you drinking. She brought you tea. Did you have any special requests along with that tea? Are you drinking the tea like you're just like having a nightcap, eating the cheeses? You don't need any wine or anything or party favors? She said anything.
Raw meat?
Do you ask her? I'll also say there is a little, as you spend time in the room, next to your bed, there is a little bell.
Oh.
I thought that was one of you for a second.
My stress is sort of hungry, but can't really hunt anything right now.
I'll be all right, darling. You treat me. Plus, didn't they say the food was bad here?
It's bland.
Blood's not bland. Salty. If it's something bloody, sure. You know I can always go for something.
They have like, isn't like blood pudding a thing?
Yeah.
Blood pudding, yeah.
It's not fresh.
You want to jingle your bell?
Sure.
Okay, you jingle your bell. Mary shows up very shortly after, maybe 30 seconds.
All
That's
right.
pretty fast. And she knocks on the door. You let her enter.
Mm-hmm.
She opens the door. She has that tray sort of tucked under. She has those keys on her hip now because she has left the room. And she looks at you. And what are you doing when she walks in?
Probably writing in my ledger or something.
Okay.
I don't know.
She looks at you and she just says, "What do you need?" And you say blood pudding and ask for blood things.
Blood pudding. It's like,
Okay.
not blood things. I don't say I need blood things.
Blood pudding specifically?
Yeah.
Blood pudding is a cooked sausage.
Yeah.
It's cooked.
Yeah, I know. But like, maybe, I don't know. Maybe Mistress will fuck with it.
Okay.
We'll see.
Shh. You say that, Mistress, like, thinks about it. Can you get it uncooked? And lots of it? One blood pudding won't do it, darling.
Hmm. On second thought, never mind.
All right. And she turns and walks away and shuts the door. She didn't really know how to resolve.
As she's walking out, I still want to see if there's any evidence that she's not fully human. Like, does she have joints?
Roll an investigation check. Or perception, your choice.
We're going with investigation for sure.
Okay.
It's giving me strong and not human vibes. That would be a 17.
A 17. Yeah, as she walks, you didn't notice it earlier, but you didn't realize you're using Mr. Buttons to listen when she comes in. And with Mr. Buttons' sort of like heightened cat ears, you can hear like a little squeak to her walk.
Knew it.
Because you seem to have interrupted her in the middle of her maintenance. And she begins to walk out, and you can hear the like keys jingling at her side, and she starts to walk away. And then the three of you can hear her walk by.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if this is something I would know, but do I know if... Because most dolls I don't think start out like I do. Do they have souls?
You have no idea.
Okay.
No clue.
I would know if I would know from sort of, you know.
Yeah, the question of souls. You do know that people treat them as servants.
Yeah, they're more like objects than people.
So, I guess you're assuming no, but you don't have like it's never been
Yeah.
public. Like that's not a thing people bring up or talk about. Like to ask. So you don't know actually. It's not been.
I'm the only one I've met with agency, so.
Yeah, maybe. So that happens. And you all pass out. You sleep and dream. You sleep and some cheese in your hand, Ricky sort of nibbles out. You asleep at the typewriter. You're awake. And as as you lay awake, doing whatever it is you do, you see not light, but like not light in the rooms across from the way, because across the courtyard there's that other strip of rooms with the glass walls. As you're looking through the window, you see a ripple.
Ripple? Almost like something passing by, maybe, that fucked with the light?
Yeah, sort of. From left, here at the corner. So from the left side of the room looking out to the right, walking down towards their rooms. Not like walking, I guess, but like, or I guess from your perspective, like a wipe of ripple. It's very quick. It's not like...
It just passes by and then that's it?
Yeah, it's like, it almost looks like the glass had a warble in it and you walked past the warble in the glass and it sort of made everything bend, but the glass didn't move.
But it was behind it.
Actually, no. It was like in the glass.
The fuck?
I don't know how to describe it other than that. It was like...
What? Like the glass itself?
Yeah, but it didn't really move. It's so hard to describe. It didn't... Like, you don't really understand what you just saw, is what I'm saying. Like...
Alright.
Like, your mind goes through, like, gas, goes through light, dark. You don't really understand.
What direction did it move? From whose room to whose? Like,
It went, so you're on the corner. From your perspective, you're in this room. Everybody else is in a room behind. And it went like this.
okay, so it went towards...
Yeah, so from north to south, let's say. Left to right across your window. Like, it wasn't, like, particularly, like, swift. It was just sort of like a...
I'm gonna use Mr. Buttons to go check on Isaac's room and make sure that he's still sleeping.
How's
and
Mr.
safe.
Buttons getting up in there? Through the vent?
The vent, yeah.
Okay, so Mr. Buttons... And next door is Isaac.
Sleeping? Fine?
Yeah, he's laying on the bed and sleeping however what you see.
Just Isaac sleeping, just laying on his side sleeping.
Like, is your stuff all, like, neatly sort of put... Is it normal, like...
I would say he looks like he's sleeping rough. Like, you can see it on his face.
Okay.
But everything else is still, like, nice and fine, yeah?
Okay.
Okay. And then I go check on them as well.
Okay, so you see ink.
Sleeping. Ricky probably nestled up somewhere.
Crumbs.
Everything's fine? Okay.
Boots on still.
Probably just passed out at like the desk working on the typewriter, half finished cigarette.
You do see the whole room is bright.
Can I make Mr. Buttons gloop out of there?
Yeah.
I'm
Gloops out.
gonna have him walk onto the desk and just put a paw on Soren's head
Okay.
to wake him up.
Soren, you feel a gloop on your head. What do?
Startle awake.
It's one of these, and there's like a... And you see Mr. Buttons.
And then I'll have Mr. Buttons look out the window? Like point to the window, sort of?
Mr. Buttons goes... And then looks at the window to that direction and goes... And then his neck sort of goes... A little bit, and then his body catches up.
Look at the window.
Looks like a window.
Did Isabella send you here?
Not? I guess. I can only see or hear, right?
Okay. Why are you here then?
looks at the window. He doesn't know how to communicate with you. He just sort of goes, and you see like rat bones.
Oh, that's not Ricky, is it?
Takes the rat bones back.
Just give him some scritches.
You go and it's like wet pizza dough. It sticks to your hands a little bit. Like you pull away enough, it goes back. It doesn't stick to your fingers or anything. It doesn't leave residue, but I mean maybe it leaves a little bit of residue, but like pomade.
Yeah. I don't have any snacks or anything to feed you. You're welcome to stay here.
Sort of curls up right on top of your typewriter and like sinks into the keys.
That's probably fine.
And then you just have like
I just
you just have key smash.
pull that sheet of paper out.
I love him.
You sort of pull them off, and there's that like surprisingly, like all the lint and stuff that gets in between your keys attached to his
He's
side.
like a cleaning slime.
And you move him, and he's not on there anymore, and actually sort of work a little bit. And then he sort of gets down, and as he jumps down, he's eye level with the bottom of your bed, and then goes, and then sort of climbs up to the wall next to the candle and looks under your bed.
Oh.
And under your bed, you
It's
see
under
just
the
the bottom
bed.
row of teeth. But Mr. Button saw it.
Oh.
Shit.
Were you gazing?
Yeah.
You didn't.
Oh. So Mr. Buttons just gets scared and runs away?
Yeah.
Huh. I was gazing through Soren though when I saw it, didn't I?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Cat senses.
You still haven't said what you're meant to be keeping me in line for.
Are you talking to the thing under the bed?
Yeah.
Okay. You start talking to the thing under the bed from the safety of your life.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a persuasion check.
18?
That's pretty good. I'm not keeping you alive. And take me to it. And it sort of chitters a little bit. And its teeth sort of and squeak against each other.
Take you to what?
Gold.
Just gold?
He said,
Toss a literal gold piece under the bed.
you toss a gold piece in it. Ding, ding, ding. It sort of does that like coin rolls. It. And there's a moment where you can see it get close to it and look. No eyes. Just sort of this like white, weird, it's almost like bone-like, but has skin texture. And like these little gnarly teeth that come out at like all sorts of different angles. And it, no.
Gold in the chasm?
Satisfying, sort of almost purr growl.
Okay. Well, we're a long ways away from that.
Yes.
I'll put it on the to-do list.
And it, you get the vibe that while it's not like trapped under the bed, it does not appreciate being restricted to it.
That's okay. I'll just hold my hand out and telekinetically snatch the coin back.
You do. And you put it in the pouch.
Okay.
By the way, if you listen to any of that, you don't understand a word he's saying.
I wouldn't be able to listen anyway. I could either watch or listen.
Well, I know. You can swap. I assume when he started talking.
I probably would have swapped, realized I can't understood, gone back to vision.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Anything else?
So I just watched him have a conversation with the underneath of his bed.
After you watched a ripple in the glass, yeah.
Okay.
In an interesting 10 minutes.
I'll let Mr. Buttons do whatever he wants for the rest of the night.
Mr. Buttons will leave his room. Let's see. Mr. Buttons will... next room over was Inks.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course it's Inks.
What's your passive perception?
It's always the cat cuddle puddle, dude.
Is
The
perception
cat picks the person that likes it the
wisdom,
least.
right? My passive is 9.
Mr. Buttons has
Negative one
never
wisdom.
cuddled on you, has he?
What's your perception?
Oh, no. +1, so 11.
So 11. Okay. Mr. Buttons does whatever he wants. So...
Oh,
no!
We'll see what happens. So, Mr. Buttons.
You know, I actually like Mr. Buttons, but if he eats Ricky, I'll be mad.
We'll see what happens.
Oh no, I didn't even think about
Mr.
that.
Buttons.
I forgot Ricky is a thing.
Everyone's got pets. Everybody.
I'm the pet in my situation.
Oops. Oh.
I mean, you tell me I'm wrong, but like I'm not.
Isaac on a leash.
Oh God, he's just Twinkie enough.
he's
Oh
he's
no! Oh, and
literally-
he's broken.
He's a Tumblr
Oh,
sexy
no.
man, dude. This is Tumblr sexy man content.
And he's got a monster within him. Oh no!
yeah, you're like,
Uh-oh, it's an anime protag.
he's the hottest
It's an
one here,
anime.
clearly.
Anti-hero protag. So, you should channel that for the rest of the campaign. I guarantee you it will pay dividends.
Okay, I'll go watch a bunch of anime and study up.
It's
Seriously.
like Yuji Itadori.
What? Which one?
Actually, pretty.
Yuji
What?
Itadori.
That's fucking smart, actually.
Who's that?
Jujutsu Kaisen character.
Oh, okay.
It's worth a watch.
It's absolutely like the best anime I've ever seen.
It's worth a watch.
I'll
Someday I'm gonna come up with
Never.
like a
Never.
series of Venn diagrams where it's like sports, D&D's probably the center, anime,
video
and
game.
figure out where all the interests lie.
Ooh.
Because there's always someone in the conversation, unless it's like D&D, who's like
Who's,
"I
out
don't
of
know
it?"
what the
Fuck?
fuck."
Yeah.
That's what friendship is. We get to.
Yeah,
We get to
no, I love
we get
that.
to-
I'm just curious what the overlaps are.
We get to wiggle our special interests at each other.
When it's like gaming shit, it's like this.
Oh, yeah.
When it's sports shit, it's this.
Oh yeah. Basketball, football,
Fashion. Makeup.
Gundam Island.
Gundam Island.
Hey, I
Oh,
cried.
I sent you a
True.
link to a mech video.
It's pretty
game.
good so far.
You played it?
Yeah, I started.
Oh fuck it. Anyway, that was a digression. So
If the rat dies, I'm right.
the rat dies. I'm right.
He just got appointed Arkabi.
He just. In fact, I would love a Ricky the Rat emote instead of the old Kabi one.
If anything, Ricky's gonna nat 20 Mr. Buttons.
I bet we have very close to enough for icons for every character. In fact,
I could probably make some character
that'd
icons.
be fun. I'll make room too. There's a few that we are coming down to disuse. Plus, they just stay in my thing, so if we want to bring them back, now Twitch just lets you just pull them back in.
Yeah.
That's
That's
really
nice.
cool.
Yeah, because I rotate through a few every once in a while,
Yeah.
depending on what we're
Makes
doing on stream.
sense.
So, okay. So that's all we're doing for the evening. I don't want to interrupt everybody else.
Did I ever finish Soren's book?
Do you want to finish Soren's book?
Yeah, I think I might have finished it
Uh,
already. I just remember it was the last book I was reading through.
Yeah. So this is the first book, What Lurks in the Mines.
Yeah. So it's like
so
the
if you want to give a
total
rundown
summary.
of what lurks in the mines,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be super detailed. It can just be like first act, second act, third act. But if you want to add, I know that you worked a little bit on stuff. So
Yeah. So it basically is set in a remote village far in the north of the Zelleran Nation, and follows a young boy who
Randy
falls
could do
ill,
audiobooks. Just saying. I'm liking this.
falls ill and almost dies, but makes a miraculous recovery. And afterwards, he walks back out into his village, which is where you learn that for generations now, this village has had far more women than men in it. But nobody ever seems to understand why, because the population is stagnant. People don't move in or out. The men just seem to stop existing, and nobody really questions it, except the boy, as he returns, seems to be the first person who notices that that's odd. And then he
This is the part you're on right now. You're reading through it.
Yeah.
We can say that's as far as you got if you don't have to.
No, I got it.
Just be on the spot.
No,
I'd
so
already been reading
once
it,
he returns to the city, he, as night begins to fall and things quiet down, he begins to hear this very faint singing that he starts to follow. And it's like ethereal, almost angelic sounding, and it leads into the copper mines just outside of town, where most of the men work. And he continues to follow it deeper and deeper into the mines. And then the novel ends abruptly as pale white arms reach out from the darkness and pull him in towards countless drooling mouths.
Oh,
And that's how it ends. Isn't it happy?
that's one of the best stories I've ever read.
It really is.
No
It's
one
a 10
writes
out of 10.
like this.
Yeah, exactly. It's
Yeah.
always happy endings. It's always and you are refreshed
Yeah.
by the take.
Sounds like
It's
a
nice to
Junji
see
Ito.
someone doing things differently in literature.
And it's at this point you get it. You get why there's a little bit. There's not a ton of people recognize them, but enough people like there was a little bit of like a cultural pop from this book. It started the genre. Because, of course, after an apocalypse, it's pretty normal for people to have a bleak outlook. So it makes sense.
And everything before that was like hero stories and happy
Yeah,
endings.
and they were.
and
Oh, and there seems to be a little bit of a mirror to the campaign.
Weird.
So as Soren shines a big mirror at the campaign, you finish the first book right as the sun rises and blasts each of you with incredible amounts of sunlight, so bright, having a whole wall that's a window.
That's a
Beautiful.
nightmare.
My
Who
worst
would want
fucking
that?
nightmare.
I have blackout curtains
Yeah.
in several rooms in this
Yeah.
house.
In fact, to the point where we were leaning things against the curtains to push them closed more
Oh,
sometimes
yeah.
because the
Oh,
fan
yeah.
will like
Yeah.
blow it.
Yeah.
I've been sleeping with an eye mask on.
Exactly.
That's the best.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's good stuff. Exact opposite experience of that.
Please take vitamin D supplements.
Exactly, we should
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
It'll keep-
Look, it's probably well
For
below
your bones.
level.
for your bone. Who do you
I actually had a
bones?
friend who recently just found out her vitamin D levels are below like even like an introvert level. She was like sick.
Jeez.
Well, sometimes your sleep schedule gets fucked up and you forget sunlight.
Yeah, and also it's winter. Oh, it was a vet. I was gonna say, what is it? You know her, but
The north, the way of the
I
north.
haven't seen the
is
sun
to have a
in
vitamin
so
D deficiency. So, as you all get a healthy dose of vitamin D,
If only I had skin.
Ink, you wake up in horror as you look down and all your cheese and meat is gone.
That's
And fattened where Ricky was in your arms is Mr. Buttons. And you look and there's that sinking feeling, and then you see Ricky in Ricky's the small spoon. As they curl around and Ricky's curled in the curl.
no one else is around to see this, so I will enjoy this.
And you say that, and then you hear from the window, and there is an old woman trimming the hedges in front of the window and looking into your room.
Do you mind?
No!
Are there curtains?
No!
I mean, yeah, you're right. It's just windows.
She just looks in, and then she moves on to the next and sees
Okay.
Soren, I believe. And you start hearing this, and you awake to the sunlight. You can see on the other side of the courtyard is an older man, and in the middle is their wheelbarrow, and they are both trimming each side of the hedge. This is day to do that. So the morning comes with a shock to the system of light. You awake as well. The morning comes to you. What would you like to do?
Oh boy. What was the plan today that we were staying overnight for?
It's like a party today or something,
Yeah.
right? Or it's like
We were
a
invited.
get together and we were staying for that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just gonna make sure everyone's clothing is fucking on point if
Okay.
there's gonna be a party today.
Yeah.
That was my
take some
primary
time.
concern.
It doesn't take long. You worked on it at night too, and just needed the light of the day to make finishing touches. And
now it's ironed and pressed and
yeah. You got everything going, all good to go. You shine shoes. You do whatever you need to do. About an hour into the day, everyone is good to go, out of their rooms or ready to be.
you can meet in the lounge.
And you can meet in the lounge if you'd like.
Yeah.
So, it's like 7:30 in the morning. You've been blasted awake by the sunlight. You make your way to down the hallway, and it's a little cold in the morning, but the light warms you comfortably. Make your way down the hallway, and to the right, you can see that the doors to Carmine's office are open. And if you were to head to the left, it'd be down towards the lounge area that was built for you. You see Carmine at his desk in the morning, standing and holding up a large scroll and sort of reading through it, and using the light that's focused naturally by the glass shape in here to read. He stands there. Today, he is wearing sort of high-waisted, sort of sailor pant, khaki, or not khaki, capri style, they come up to his shin. He's got a big billowy shirt. Think, not to reinforce the thing, but Tom Cruise in the Interview with a Vampire.
Oh, he just wears vampire shirts.
Yeah, not to enforce it. Or like Captain Flint or something. It's like piratey, but sort of Elizabethan. Very, very loose, though. And he has that...
Very billowy.
Oh, yeah. He has that leather thing that goes down. He's still wearing that strange, egg yolk pin, but on the new shirt. Has a sash, still no shoes. you see he's got rings on his fingers and is just sort of reading them, and his hair is down a little bit, and it's a little bit more scraggly, and his long sort of chin, pointy goatee thing, he sort of strokes at it when he sets the thing down, and he sips his tea. You see him take. As you just pass through, are you going? And this is about what you see. Do you go into there, or do you head to the lounge? Any of you?
I think I would give just a little good morning and acknowledgement on the way to the lounge.
Yeah.
Okay, he's like 30 feet in, and then there's the hallway. So like you give acknowledgement and
like a wave and a little
and a nod.
curtsy and a good morning, you know, like a.
You say good morning. I guess. You can see it takes him a second to be like, who the fuck are you? Oh yeah. Oh, good morning. And he takes a sip of tea and sort of sets it down. And then you see him pick up like a watering can that was on the desk. And he starts walking over to plants and starts to... he's feeding each one of the plants, and he's tending to the plants in the morning. You all sort of file into the lounge area. And standing there as you walk in is Mary. She doesn't have the keys. Those seem to be on the desk or something. But she is holding a big tray of tea, and she sets it down when she sees you come in, and it's still steaming and hot. And she has a glass decanter with a thick crimson liquid in it that she seems to be holding for you. As you walk in, she makes eye contact. She waits to see where you're going, and then she walks over to you with it as you sit.
What is this?
Oh, well, you're asking for blood pudding, but you wanted it uncooked. But we don't... It's just blood in a decanter that I had for you. I was told to give you anything you wanted, so I thought about it for a bit, and then I went and got some blood. And then she hands the decanter down, and
He
it's
just has blood lying around.
and it's about like a 32-ounce milk carton size of blood, and then it has a crystal stopper in the top, and she sets it down in front of you, and she just hands you that much blood, and then the rest of you sit down and you have tea, and you see this blood decanter, and then Mary walks away.
Well, that's strange. Take a sip.
It's blood.
So
And
it tastes-
Mistress is like, oh, yes.
I never thought about just giving her blood.
Oh gosh. More, please.
I will continue to drink the blood.
If Mistress could purr.
Mistress, does the blood taste humanoid?
Do a flavor check.
What does that even mean?
What do you think she uses for flavor? Perception?
History?
Sure. That'd work. That makes sense.
Because, you have
Go
to
ahead.
recall.
I'm sure she has proficiency in human blood.
8?
8? Tough
Nailed
to
it.
tell. Tough to tell.
I feel like this is indirect enough that if it was... That's on...
Not to reinforce the vampire shit.
He walks around in a billowy shirt and just has blood available.
There's nothing weird.
This is a minister of flesh.
He
Or
is
not
a.
minister.
He is a. It's just
minister.
like saying that Isaac is a vampire just because of his entire aesthetic.
True.
He's a monster man. He's Dr. Jekyll.
She's got a point.
That's not a vampire. You know him as a kineticist and a minister of flesh. So you sit here and you have the lounge essentially to yourselves. The beautiful water of the fountain is there. It's got a beautiful brass globe on it. It goes back into the wall a little bit. And it looks like the fountain has beautiful seating on the edges of it anyway. There's actually a little looks like someone was drinking a goblet recently and has just set it down next to the fountain. So, what are you guys doing?
So, what is the plan? Are we just, we already do know, who we're here to find. We know she's here.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess at least at the minimum, we did the minimum. Are we investigating more? Or are we just going to go to the party and see if anything interesting happens? Play it by ear? Maybe get some real new customers? We're here anyway.
It's not a bad idea.
Yeah, I think going to the party is definitely the number one choice now.
I don't think there's any need to risk getting on his bad side.
Sure. Still find it odd that she is living with the children out in the middle of the woods, but
She's here.
yeah.
She seemed fine though.
The children speed thing is weird, but
Yeah.
We're also a bit weird if you think about it.
this is true. It might not be sinister. Maybe the kids just have some weird thing going on. Who knows? You have a weird thing, you have a weird thing, you have a weird thing.
You don't.
Your best friend is a rat.
You assume Ricky is my best friend. Shh, it's okay, Ricky.
You said who said Ricky's my best
I
friend?
said, shh, it's okay, Ricky. You are my best friend.
I mean, I just think you should be able to be honest if they're your friends, you know.
Get fucked by her. You just, like what? This argued.
But I understand, you gotta work at your own pace. I understand. It's not normal for, people like us to be friends, and it can be a little socially weird. That's fine. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
Oh, fuck.
They just hear. They just think the rat's cute. So you sit here a little bit, drinking tea, and talking about your plans. Are these the extent of your plans? Does anybody else have anything they want to share with the class of what they've learned over the course of time, or?
Well, problem is it private enough?
No one's around. You can see down the hallway.
Doesn't
Lord
Soren have
Carmine and
brain things?
Lord Carmine and Mary are all the way down the hall in his office. Both the double doors are open all the way through.
Soren has
Brain
one-way
things?
brain things, right?
Yeah.
It's one way.
I can talk to people, but they can't talk back.
But you could write it down and then he could read it in his brain.
I didn't
to
say
us.
that. I didn't say that
Oh.
character, but
Oh,
I was
didn't
asking
know.
like
No, I don't think anyone.
in Recall he can do.
Yeah.
He just doesn't do it often, so I was making sure I wasn't confusing it with another
No,
campaign.
you're good.
What I'm gonna do is write down something on a scrap of paper from my book, and pass it to Soren, and then he can relay that information to everyone via his brain, because that's what the note will say. And shorthand, so I don't have to necessarily write it down. It's just, I saw something moving in the glass last night. Tell the others quietly. And then I draw a picture of a little brain or something.
Okay.
And then hand that to him.
So, creatively, she gives that to you. You can brain them if you want. It's just a message cantrip, right?
No, I just have like one-way telepathy.
Oh, okay,
It's my
yeah.
patron feature.
Oh, yeah, great. So you invade the brain privacy of everybody, and can tell them essentially that. If you want to add anything, you can.
Just Isabella said that she saw something in the glass last night. I have no idea what that means.
Have you ever brain messaged these people?
You for sure.
100% me.
Me, I think, at one point.
I probably in like combat messaged everyone. at
And
this
Ink
point.
is aware Soren can do brain
Yeah, we've
stuff.
talked about it out loud.
I think we
Because
have.
we planned that for when we
Okay.
met Reverend Gill.
I will say there's a little bit of like a... but when you're not expecting a message...
Suddenly in your head. Yeah.
Suddenly in your head. Yeah.
Should we go for a walk? Kill some time?
Couldn't hurt. Be a bad idea.
Agreed.
I'm gonna get up and head outside then.
Excuse me. You all make your way back down the hallway. You see, as you're making your way down the hallway, Carmine is making his way towards you.
Oh.
All. And looks directly at Isaac when approaching. And in doing so goes, good morning, everyone. I hope your sleep was delightful. Hope you've enjoyed your stay so far. Were you staying for the party tonight?
That would be the plan, yes, if you would so allow us to.
Of course you can stay, yes. I think you'd be a delightful addition to the party. Well, there's anything you need at all, please ask Mary. I will be in and out today trying to gather our guests for the event. And if you will, just meet us at sunset in the lounge area near the fountain.
All right.
Absolutely.
Will do.
All right. Turns and as he walks away back towards his office, he walks back. He talks to Mary for a second, and then you hear him go, and then he walks back. And then Mary catches up with you as you're walking down the hallway, and you can hear her behind you, and she goes, "Excuse me."
Oh.
You
Yes?
can see the keys jingling. You see the little brassy sphere key sort of at the front, and she looks at you all and says, "Lord Carmine asked me if you would like a pick-me-up for the morning." And you see a little on the tray she has are 4 lines
Moonshots?
of moonshots.
Did these have a risk of the
Moon plague?
Like,
Yes.
yes.
Oh, of course.
how bad?
It's
I'm just gonna do one.
much as everything else. Yeah, and so they're not. I guess they're not lines. I describe this wrong
I will
every time.
take one.
It is a spoon. It's a bump, not a line. It's a spoon. Although I guess you and it sort of looks like a really really round spoon end. You would recognize this as like the bougie way to do this drug. Think of it like the really fancy gravity bong of doing moonshots instead of just like an apple. You know what I mean? Like this is we're on the high end of the doing Coke spectrum. So it's a little thing made specifically for this, and it's like it sort of looks like the G Fuel
Spoon?
Oh yeah.
but the intended use is it's a long sort of steel thing, and it has like a glass carb spoon, and you're supposed to pick it up, and then there are candles that you're supposed to hold and put it on, or any other fire starting thing. Lighters work now.
Prestidigitate mine.
Yeah, you can do that. And it vaporizes, and then you just smell it. You can bump it, but that's more of like a microdose. The full effect, you get the short rest, you have to inhale the vapor. Otherwise, it's more of like it's a thing you do if you do it a lot. because you're lazy and you're just like,
Yeah. Just put it in.
So it takes 2 consecutive actions to do this, and you see Soren very expertly just inhales the vapor and holds it in, and then slowly exhales. You get the effects of a short rest, which you don't need, but I think it helps some of your shit.
Uncharacteristically, I'm taking some.
Yeah, you take some.
Doing drugs.
You take some, and you don't have to do it in the hallway, but you can. Essentially, it's like a kit for you to take privately, but you can do whatever you want. And as you do, this is the first time you've ever done this.
Yeah.
You think? Okay.
Absolutely.
So
I definitely probably have seen it done before.
So what you
I
experience?
have some on me.
What you experience is like a tingle, and then it shoots up like into your eyes, makes your eyes water, and then there's like a brain fucking like a buzz. And I need both of you to roll d20s.
16.
14.
14. Okay, so right now, you don't have any side effects. It's like a shot of caffeine. Like you feel a little jittery, a little bit. You're starting to like you breathe a little, breathing, and so there's a little bit of that. It's definitely a pick me up from where you were. Are you both?
I'm good.
Yeah. Okay. So you're good, and you. Did we already do full rest? You did get a full rest last
Yeah,
night.
I rolled at the end of last session
Okay.
for my points.
Oh,
And
wait.
so,
For my temps.
Did I roll?
you,
I
well,
only
you
have
redid
4.
your sheet, so
Okay.
just go ahead and roll the full rest right now, just in case. 4 sounds like a bad roll, so that's funny.
Yeah, I rolled it too.
I rolled 2
Jeez.
6s.
Nice.
7.
7.
So I don't get. Damn, I don't get my thing.
Okay, so you guys walk outside. Ink finds some sand.
The blood didn't count at all towards feeding myself, did it?
Did you drink the whole decanter?
Yeah.
I'll say you can. Yeah, I'll say it counts.
So that would count
She
as.
glugged the whole fucking 32 ounces of
Why
blood.
wouldn't she?
Well, I don't know how you lived your life.
Social propriety.
Yeah. So you just. I'll say.
I feel like Mistress would have gotten gluttonous about it and probably done.
Well, the way that you described it was you took a sip, and she's like, "Oh yes," like wine, and you
Yeah.
took another sip, and then we didn't talk about it. So we can say that you go back into the room, or you just walk outside and you start glugging this shit.
Right now? Oh no, I thought
Like,
I
did
was
you wanna do it-
drinking
did you
while
wanna
we
have
were
done it in
having
the
the
lounge?
conversation. Yeah.
Okay. So you did it in the lounge. You glugged it out. So you guys saw. Isabella.
I thought that's why we started talking
Hammer
about
it.
it.
I'll say because you do this, you can go ahead and make one more check. You can pick whatever. The history is fine. You can pick nature, medicine,
For
investigation.
to figure out the blood.
Just whatever. Yeah.
Oh.
Because you asked about the blood. Because you only took a sip. I know you drink the whole thing. So I'll say you get another chance at it. Just because.
A 19 history?
19.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first time she sips it, right? And she's like, "Oh, I want more." And you guys sort of talk for a little bit, and then she starts to bug you near the end of the conversation. And you were trying to sort of do the polite etiquette thing of like sipping your drink politely, and you can feel Mistress like, come on, give me it. And you eventually do, and you just sort of drink it all. And yeah, you do get a hunger stack for that. So
So
you
that
can-
gives me the.
full
5.
full 10 though, max 10.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
And then that doesn't stack with my.
You have to pick the
forest?
pool, and then you're subject to the duration of the pool you pick from. So you should pick the hunger points, which
Yes,
last
that's
all
what
day.
I'm doing.
Right. Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So it's only a max 10 that way.
Yeah.
And then later on you get max 15, max 20. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So you glug the decanter, the 32 ouncer of blood, the big gulp of blood.
Yeah.
And she tastes it. She really tastes it. She goes, darling, the first time I tasted it, I couldn't quite tell. And that's because this blood is so clean.
Clean.
Clean, like highly drinkable. Delicious. Like a no diseases, no imperfections.
Oh. Interesting.
Honestly, darling. And she sort of goes like, and you see like a little bit of it come back out into the decanter. I think Brother Dearest might like a look at this.
It's true. I'll hold on to that for him then.
Okay, so you have like this fucking decanter with a crystal stopper. You just sort of shove it in your stuff. You guys walk outside? Or you
Yeah, I put it in my bag before we walked out, and
Sure. You walk outside, and Inca made her way before you because she's like getting a little antsy. She drank a lot of tea last night, and
It's a medication. I'm sorry.
yeah, the tea. And
The tea's what I'm getting rid of.
vacating.
well, I meant, yeah, you're right.
Pisses it
Smart.
out.
There we go. It puts the E in tea. So, you make your way out there, and what do you want to look at? You're out in the courtyard. The hedges have been freshly trimmed. The glass walls to each room are there. You can see the different rooms that you guys were in and all the made beds everywhere else. You know, the other rooms that look essentially identical.
I'm just gonna look around and make sure that there's like nobody within earshot of us.
Yeah, go ahead and make a perception check.
8.
8. I mean, no one's like... If someone's hiding in this courtyard, they're very good at it, because the only way to hide would be the hedges that are right up against the windows. You can see back along the path, pushing a wheelbarrow full of hedge clippings, are two elderly people walking away from you. Down the path into the woods somewhere.
Isabella, did you want to elaborate?
Last night there was a.
You don't have to actually whisper.
Okay. Last night there was a shimmer across the glass, and I noticed it. It went all the way down.
Like the entire wall or just one pane?
It
Whole wall.
was like a whole wall, and it just flew by, like it distorted the lights around it.
When was this?
Right before I sent Mr. Buttons to your room.
Oh, he said you didn't send him.
Did he?
Yeah, curious.
We're talking to Mr. Buttons now?
Yeah.
I
You
figured
talk to a rat.
I can actually understand him.
I tried to send him to chase after whatever it was to see where it went, but
Well, this is very
I don't know.
odd.
I didn't see any
you didn't see anything else.
ripples. No.
Do you want to look at the window?
Let's start with identify on the window.
Identify
Yeah.
on the window.
You're gonna have to do that in the open?
Touch a window.
Yeah, you can touch a window.
Or make it look like you're not casting a spell?
Touch glass.
Yeah.
Touch it. He's touching some glass.
Thank you.
glass!
Touches some glass. Okay. And what does identify do? It just shows if there's a spell on effect of it or something?
If it is a magic item or some other magic-imbued object, you learn its properties and how to use them, whether it requires attunement, charges, any spells affecting the item, and what they are.
So there's 10 minutes of that. Does anybody want to do anything while doing that? There's going to be 10 minutes of essentially touching a window outside in the courtyard.
So weird.
What if someone comes across us? It's going to be weird.
Start rubbing it.
Do it any faster?
Can we pretend it's like a game? In what game would you be rubbing a window?
Everyone rubs the window. It's not weird.
Maybe.
Does everyone want to rub the window?
I will rub a window.
Okay.
like,
go ahead and
I
make
don't know what to do.
whatever check you'd like to make on the window.
Performance check.
Performance check on the window. Go ahead. Yeah, absolutely.
5.
Okay, so
I'm
you're pretending to wipe the window.
While they're being weird, I'm just gonna pull Isaac aside.
Okay, so you go. So they're like, Soren is touching the window, and like he has like different. I don't know how you do it, but he's got to like mumble. It's like a ritual. He's got to like.
He's mumbling in deep speech.
And you're just like next to him, just like looking in his direction. So you sort of pull away from that a little bit. It's just the two of you. Just the two of you, and you guys are like reaching over the hedges to do this.
Just say the drugs are hitting
Could have
too
done it from
hard.
inside your room.
Yeah.
But now we're here, so right now it doesn't look like anybody's watching. You pull Isaac aside, and what do you do?
Mistress said that the blood that I got was very clean, as in no disease, no sickness. Like it was pure.
That doesn't make much sense. There's always something.
What if they found a way to get rid of everything?
You still have some.
I passed the decanter.
Decanter, the sides of which have that like film that blood has been poured down the sides of it, and the bottom is thicker, maybe a shot worth of blood. And the decanter's like this tall and it has a little crystal stopper on the top. It's square.
Do you think it would be weird if you asked for more?
You have enough to do something.
Yeah, but I can't do anything. I don't have anything to do anything now, so I need to make sure it can stay good until we get back to.
I'll say you have vials and stuff that you could transfer this to. I mean, you always have some.
I just
you
know
like,
blood
use
usually has
syringes
to be
and
like
shit.
chilled, so. Right, Randy is usually chilled blood.
How long does blood stay good in an airtight container?
I think
Doctor,
about
go.
90 days.
Oh, 90 days.
Oh, you
Okay.
we have time.
As long as it's not, you have like an.
I mean, you're not trying to like
there.
put it in your body at some point, right?
No,
It's just blood that you want to
just
test
a
later.
Test, yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
if you have vials and shit,
Yeah.
offload
Yeah,
that.
it's not for transfusion purposes, unless it is.
No. I'm definitely gonna.
Take some of the semi-regurgitated mistress pure
Shit,
blood.
I think they even can rehydrate blood for things if you're just like testing it, right? Like,
Facts. If you have bled too much, you can pour water into your blood and make more blood.
Hydro homies. Tips.
It's like when you run out of coolant in your car. You just gotta.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just add
Or
water.
the ketchup at the diner. Just add some water and shake it. Makes the ketchup go farther.
Shampoo bottle.
Shampoo bottle.
Oh yeah,
same
when you're
shit.
getting low on the soap in the bathroom.
Yeah, same stuff.
Yep.
Absolutely. Low on the soap in the bathroom. If I could give Randy several more of those tonight, I might. But it's you got some bangers right now. Okay. So you're identifying. You take some time to carefully pour that
Can I
into
just
a
like
vial.
hold the it up to like the sunlight and like kind of swirl it around to see if it looks different than things I've seen
Make a
before?
medicine check.
Yeah, we're using it on.
Absolutely.
Natural 16 plus 3, 19 plus 3, 22.
22. So you're out here sort of looking through the sunlight. It doesn't burst into flame. It's good.
it's not vampire blood.
Like, does it look?
I mean,
weird? Like, is the viscosity different?
Yeah,
like, is it a different color? A
there's
little bit?
there's not a ton of difference, but I think with like a 22, it's less of a you notice something about the blood, and more thinking about the things it could be that could do that to blood. And as you look at it and sort of just take a moment to think, I mean, you tested Perfectus.
Mm-hmm.
It seems to be what would happen to blood had someone ingested Perfectus and then had their blood drawn.
Interesting.
Anything else you want to do, or are you just pondering?
Pondering.
So you sort of take that and you make notes and you just sit and think. Till that you're squeaking the window. And then next to that, your identify starts to come through the. I'll say this counts at. Well, no, it's not a spell slot. You didn't use a slot for it, did you?
No,
Or is it
it's
only? Did I say
ritual.
slot?
It says
I
using
bel-
a spell slot.
Yeah.
So.
I'll say it doesn't count. So maybe I might change that to using a warlock spell instead of burning a slot. We'll see though.
It's a wizard spell. So.
Fine. There you go. Something you learned, something you picked up. Great. Yeah, that's great. So it doesn't affect that anyway. So you touch it and you feel for the magic and these little influences of illusion magic. And then much broader. There's strong illusion magic throughout this as your ritual finishes.
Okay. I'm going to immediately start detect magic.
Okay. As a ritual?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we
you
just
see
see
him
him-
stop and change, and you notice this too. You sort of finish your thought, and then you notice them noticing.
Is he doing it again?
He's not touching it this time. I don't think you have to touch it. So now he's just backed out, and it's like Mr. Doctor Strange or something. Whatever's going on. He's clearly casting a spell. You've seen him cast a spell before. I don't know how it works. Do you
Oh, yeah.
have any flavor ideas? I don't know. Is this also a wizard spell?
Yeah, he's
So,
a
yeah.
ritual caster. No, I think for this one he's just continuing to mutter in deep speech and then probably tracing over the scars on his arm.
If anyone asks, he's deeply
Praying.
religious.
Yeah,
yes.
exactly. He's just praying.
Okay. At which point, you kind of come to that, and you hear from the courtyard to the front of the house, like over the house, you hear the sound of like horse getting closer. So it's a ways away, but and no one can see you from here. But there seems to be like people are starting to show up to the house for the day. So this place is going to get a little bit more busy over the course of the day. But right now, you're in the courtyard. Anything you want to do while he's finishing the detect
Do you
magic
want
on
to do
this?
something with me?
I was going. Sure. I
I
was
was
also
going to
going
ask
to
the
ask
same
you.
thing.
Well, I was also going to ask you. Do you think they have the real Perfectus here?
Well, the Perfectus is the real Perfectus, but that was kind of also my plan.
What's your plan?
I was going to ask Mary if she could get us some.
Perfectus.
Yes. I have an idea.
All right. Grab him by the arm and walk.
Okay, so you're gonna go ask Mary for some perfectus.
See if there's any way we can get some.
Okay.
As I've been curious to try it out.
I don't think that's weirder than asking for blood. I want to. Yeah.
So you walk back into there, and you're staying
Easier to
as
come
like
by.
overwatch for Soren. What? You're staying to like watch over Soren.
Yeah.
Okay. So the two of you walk
He's the
back.
hokey guy doing his religious stuff.
Walk back into.
They love that.
You walk back down the hallway. I'm just seeing what detect magic does. So it's just a faint aura on any magic and the school. Okay. This is happening. You walk back in, head down, and at the end of the hallway, sort of at those double doors where you could. It comes to the T section, you could turn right to go to Carmine's office or left to go to the lounge. Mary is standing there with the tray folded up under, keys on her hip, and she's just waiting to serve the next person that comes by, and you sort of walk up.
Hello, Mary.
Hello.
Do you think you could get me some perfectus?
Of course.
I would appreciate it.
How much do you need?
Just 2, if you could.
Of course. She walks away for a bit to your room.
Yes.
All right. You walk to your room. There's literally no huff about that at all.
Wow.
Rich people
Just on
stuff.
demand.
You have to act like I've been there. So you go into your shit, and she heads somewhere and comes back, and she raps on the door a little bit.
Oh, open the door.
Dr. Baines, and she hands you
Do
your
you
two.
think you could get me some water with a straw? A little thirsty.
Yes, of course. And then she walks away again. She goes all the way to the kitchen. Are you doing anything in between that time, or are you just waiting? She comes back, brings you some water and like a little metal straw.
Perfect. Thank you. Take it and
Take it and shut the door. And all right. And as you're doing that, she points out the window and goes, "Does he require help?"
No, he's just religious. It's a weird thing.
Make a deception check.
That's okay. I'm like decent at that
Yeah.
actually.
She doesn't have deep insight
16.
necessarily. Yeah. As you wish, Master Baines. And she walks away. You are beginning to do what?
So I'm gonna take out an empty vial
Uh-huh.
and take out my scalpel and the straw.
I'm just watching everything
And-
fascinated.
Disinfect the straw first, and then cut my arm. And use the straw to put blood into the vial, and then mix it with the perfectus.
Yeah.
And then
Oh.
centrifuge it up to see if it.
Okay, yeah. So a very basic blood test
Oh,
with what you
fuck.
got. And the water, you hydrate yourself a little bit, and you can wash yourself with it. And, so that's happening, and as you do so, there is... Am I missing something?
What?
Sure, everything. We're good. As you do so, you finish up your detect magic, and so it gives a faint aura around.
Is there a spider?
Oh, see, something fell though, right?
I didn't see it.
Oh, something definitely fell. I thought it might be a spider too, but it's not. Okay. Thought
Are
it-
you sure?
yeah, you saw it too, though, right?
I did not know.
You saw it.
I didn't
I
see
see
it.
that spider.
No. There's like a little thing fell,
Oh.
and I thought it was like a spider, but there's nothing.
There's a huge web
Yeah, there's a
above
web.
you.
Oh yeah.
I'm not worried about the web. Anyway,
Oh.
Yeah, we need to dust up there again.
Oh.
happens when you have all these wires like this. Perfect.
And
Yeah, they're
wide
like, ooh.
open.
I kind of like it though.
Yeah.
It's spooky.
Hannah hates it because the spiders. As long as they eat the other bugs
Okay. The
and
next
stay
set
away
will be
from
in a
me.
butterfly house. If I didn't know it would traumatize you, I would have done some butterfly shit in this campaign already.
In this would be fine. That'd be fine. I wouldn't mind. In
Well,
real
no, I
life,
ruined
they'd
it.
just creep me the fuck out.
Yeah.
I've been in butterfly houses IRL. I just don't like it.
I went to one with my sister once, and they started fucking on her shoulder.
Nice.
Yeah.
How do they fuck?
A light aura,
They
as you're
touch
thinking
butts.
about, yeah, they touch butts. A light aura extends 30 feet to the farthest part of the 30 feet. It extends out in either direction across this glass wall, and it's definitely illusion magic. There's no other magic that you detect through that unless you like ping these guys or yourself.
But it's only the glass?
Seems like the glass has illusion magic on it. What do you do as you walk? As you're doing this little experiment, you can see how Isaac cut into himself.
Um,
I'm gonna have to stitch him back up.
Stitch myself up.
Well, I guess you can.
I don't think it's that. Yeah, it's,
I'm
I don't think
nurse.
it's-
I'm here
it's
to
not,
help.
It's not like a crazy. He's not even taking damage
I
from
know.
this.
Yeah.
He's a professional. In fact, you could probably have drawn the blood with one of your syringes. You
Yeah.
could have like done a million things to keep this from being like catastrophic.
It just sounded cool, so I did
It is
that
cool.
way.
Yeah.
Ink, can you wait outside the window to my room for a moment?
Sure, I will do so.
Just stand there?
Yeah.
Okay. So you wait outside. You walk around. And as you walk down, you see Mary at the end of the hall. You go to your door. You just open your door.
Is Mary close enough?
Nah, you'd have to approach her.
Okay, no, I'll just go into
Okay.
my room.
So you open your door up. You go. And you see ink on the other side of the window. And you walk up to the window.
Yeah.
You walk up to the window and you can see each other. You feel the illusion magic immediately.
Telepathically, can you take a couple of steps to the left?
I'll do so.
Okay. What are you looking for?
Just any, like...
Just differences.
Yeah,
Go
like
roll
if
me
it
a
just
perception
doesn't
check.
seem like she's moving right. 2.
It looks like she's there. There's definitely illusion magic in front of this. I was changing something.
Yeah, okay.
Hard to figure out.
Okay, do you want to just meet me in the lounge?
Okay. So you come in. While it's happening, you are go ahead and roll a medicine check again. Just to see what the effects on the blood are, and to make sure the process is done correctly, and to do it safely.
15.
15. Okay, yeah. It's a very simple procedure for you. You'd love to have your stuff, but you sit there and shake it a little bit, and it would be easier with your equipment.
Mm-hmm.
But the only way to tell would be to feed your
I was
blood.
just gonna do that,
Yeah.
yeah. Sorry about this. Can you taste this?
Oh,
Well, it won't be you tasting.
Well, not you, but you know.
I mean, you
I'm
can.
curious.
You can gaze at two minds if you'd like to taste his blood.
Taste it. Do it.
yes.
Oh, God!
Okay. You taste it, and wow.
Isaac's blood tastes like.
So,
Ah,
mistress.
God, if we
uh,
weren't actually
mistress.
siblings.
Mistress's jaw, like you open up, and her tongue sort of like uncurls, and you drop it onto her tongue. She tastes it. Go ahead and roll one of your checks.
There's a ripple in the
You can do it with advantage since you kind of know what you're looking for.
16 history.
16. Okay. Yeah, it's definitely quite clean. Though there's a bit of. Is that a lizard?
couple other things too, but
It's definitely cleaned it. You don't quite know. Is there, do you have any? Yeah.
but why? Why?
What do you mean? Isn't that the point of it?
Yes, but why do it? But why have it like this?
What do you mean?
Why just have a jug of clean blood like this with Perfectus? It
Maybe all the people here. All of them are clean.
having thoughts.
Okay.
Do you think there's a difference between the formula here and what they were selling elsewhere?
It's possible this probably is truer to the original, but the other one seemed just like my formula. Unless they changed this one.
Is identical?
I mean, you can look at the formula. And
Yeah.
I mean, visually it looks identical. It smells identical to your original formula, which was essentially, he changed it and marketed it as Perfectus, but you intended it to enhance the natural capabilities of someone. Like, functionally in game, it gives you a +1 to all skill checks. If it has like blood cleaning properties, it's been changed, or it's a secondary effect that you didn't realize.
Yeah, because I never.
Like there's been something added to it, or you didn't, like it wasn't your intention to clean blood necessarily. But I guess you didn't check for that when you just checked to see if it matched
my formula. I
your
didn't
formula.
check anything else. Yeah.
So, but obviously there's, with the loss of magic, there's many benefits to essentially offering lesser restoration. You know what I mean?
You basically possibly made a miracle drug, and he's taking credit for your hard work.
Yeah.
You can see the clench of the jaw shows that you saying that was not a thought that wasn't there.
It's the only thought that's there. But if it is changed, then I didn't make it, and someone else did.
You think they did better than you?
No, it just means someone else knows how to make it like I do.
Oh.
Well, Kane stole the formula, so.
But I could have made it better, which means I have to make a better one.
That's the lesson.
Are you planning to sell or release the current one that you're working on?
Not in this state. It's not quite where I want it yet.
Now, you did use the framework of Perfectus to get this. And I'll say with your intelligence checks that's been so far, I mean, to you, it was the logical next step.
Just not where I want it yet. It needs more refining.
Which means a lesser mind may not agree with it needing refining.
But now I am curious. I have to buy some before we leave and take it with me.
Are you going to compare the two?
Just to see. Because if it is different, I have to find out what is different.
Okay. So, Halvian Perfectus versus
Evan Falls
Evan
Perfectus.
Falls Perfectus, like Coke.
Because Evan Falls was the
Conspiracy.
one I tested, and that one was identical.
Yeah,
So,
it was.
Conspiracy.
well, you know, it's like
I
when
told you when we started this campaign that there would be secrets from the fucking jump.
Yeah.
Everyone's
It's
got
like
secrets,
it's like when
bro.
you order like frozen pizza from Chicago as opposed to buying it in Chicago.
Yeah, there you
like,
go.
you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Or I was thinking they would do the best version to heal themselves and then release the shitty version to everyone else around the world
Exactly.
and keep them hooked on the thing. It's like literally like Illuminati conspiracies about how they know how to
Big
cure
pharma.
cancer, but chemo is actually just
There's some that are
but it's
unbelievable.
real.
I'm 90% sure my hypothesis is correct at this point, so I just need a little bit more information.
They're definitely keeping the good shit for themselves, dude.
So, that's the conversation. Do you want me to? You want to keep cooking? You want me to get? You want me to get, I
No,
want to step in your
I'm
kitchen.
cooking personally.
Okay.
It's a
Let them cook.
Let 'em cook. So the two of you headed towards the lounge, and as you do so, you pass by Mary, and you're detecting magic.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, there is all sorts of magic in Mary. There's abjuration. There's necromancy. There's
Maybe she does it.
conjuration. And
Whatever makes her faces not look weird.
probably illusion. All of these things.
Does she still have those keys on her?
Yeah, she does. Those keys.
It's like a raven one. There's like
There's
a
a
crystal one.
there's a brass sphere, a crystal ball, a raven skull, and a rusty iron heart. All on the key rings. Those are sort of like the tops of all the keys. They're all different. You make your way to the lounge, and as you do so, there are people sitting in the chairs. Just two. A man and a woman of Hauvian descent, and they seem to be sipping tea that had been previously given to them by Mary, who's now standing here to give service to everybody who needs it. And as you approach, you see, these like porcelain white little face and these long gloves, and you can see where the style comes from these two, but it's like a little bit older style, where these use a little bit more trendy sort of like blacks and whites and different cuts. There's more of like the hoity-toity Elizabethan sort of like rufflies, and one of them smokes a long cigarette of some kind of medicinal smelling herb, and they both sip at their drinks and whisper to each other as you specifically walk closer. But and so you sit in the lounge.
No, as they kind of start doing that telepathically, I'm just going to say, let's keep going to the rooms.
Okay, so you go back to the rooms. And these two are in the rooms. You know that they're in the rooms. You're trying to figure out this sort of glass thing, this blood stuff. So what do you guys want to do? You can kind of convene and figure it out.
Well, the glass here is illusion magic.
Are we all just convened in like Isaac's room or something?
I'd say if you want to be, yeah.
That's fine.
The whole thing is
As far as I could see, yeah.
the glass panes themselves. Are there? What are the structures like that are? Is it panes and then there's like structural
No, it's like a
stuff?
solid piece of
Solid.
glass that runs across. If a room is a D6, it's missing this side and the top one.
Okay.
And so it has the walls,
Yeah.
the floor, and this side, and then the ceiling is. It's like this glass. It sort of has like a living room has sort of those curved.
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of like that with glass that comes down the side, and then that whole shelf runs across the the apartments like this.
Is it possible that this is something that could... I don't know, he's wealthy. Could he have something that just, like, dims his windows if he wants?
That's certainly the charitable interpretation.
It's not very typical, I think, of people here to have so much magical stuff around.
This
like
would
that.
not be seen as, like, a status symbol. They have, like, ooh, look, I have enchanted...
No, status here is usually through innovation and science.
Everything else here has been non-magical.
Yeah.
Interesting. This is very strange, then. Okay.
If I look at Isabella, does she also have those 4 schools of magic?
Yeah. Among the various magics that Mistress gives off within her, as you see this writhing sort of like aspect to her physicality, what's really uncomfortable is go ahead and roll an Arcana check.
17.
17. I'll say you can sort of like discern the shape between Isabella and the aura, the very strong aura that Mistress gives off, and you can see that she like squishes into the different spaces in a way that gives her like a circulatory like a thick circulatory system view throughout Isabella's body.
Through the ball joints and
it
stuff
squeezes
and
through
like
her
around
in different
spaces.
pieces, and then you can see behind Isabella's face that is hollow. You see this maw, and these sort of eyes that if you saw them in a dark alley would be like semi-beautiful, like red, orange, like almost like cat eyes. Semi behind where Isabella's eyes are. It's not like 1-to-1, but it's like sort of like crawling up one side, like the jaw is sort of like off center, and like it's fucked.
I will be avoiding eye contact until the spell's done.
Okay.
Do I notice that?
I'd say you noticed that you knew he cast a spell. You don't know what he's looking at.
No, but do I notice that he's just kind of like avoiding?
Probably. And hiding it at all? Probably not. So yeah, you're experiencing this, and with that Arcana check, I'll say you start looking back over towards the window as part of it, and now that you can sort of, I guess looking at Isabella kind of helped, because there's that Isabella layer, and then inside of it is that you can see there's 2 layers of illusion in that window. There's an interior one and an exterior one. And the exterior one seems a little further away.
But I didn't notice anything when I walked up to the window from the outside.
You didn't check it. That you were just doing detective magic. But if you do notice that same experience.
Okay.
Now the inside is a little bit further away. It
But
seems like there's
It's like 2 layers.
there seems to be 2 layers.
Is it possible that it's not really a window? It is simply 2 layers that are almost showing what it would be if it was a window, giving the illusion of a window, but maybe it's solid. You know what? Does that make sense?
Concealing a corridor for someone to spy on us through fake windows?
So, something like that, perhaps. Who knows? It could just be
It's possible.
to make the house more secure, so it looks like windows, but isn't. I do not know. Weird shit.
Maybe.
How would you check such a thing?
I would probably try and break the window,
Right.
I was about to
or
say
at
the
least
same thing.
glass cutter. You'd need
Well, if
something.
naturally, if there's a corridor, there's a way in.
Yeah.
So
I-
you physically touch the glass all the way across until you find the door.
Okay.
Well, it runs into the wall
Or the-
when
or
you're
the
in your
hallway.
apartment.
Right.
You go to the corner one, and it runs into the wall from the inside of the apartment.
You just keep following them.
Well, you have to walk outside and go to the hallway. When you go outside to the hallway, there's a wall to your right, and then there's the double doors that go outside to the courtyard. The wall to your right is like adjacent to the corner room. It just was. So it seems that there is a you floated the idea of a corridor.
That's what I was thinking too.
How do you want to check this?
It's if you knock on it. If it's hollow.
The glass.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you knock on it, it goes ding ding ding.
Does it sound
glass.
like if you're knocking on a hollow wall? Like, is there like?
Sounds like glass. Sounds like knocking on a big,
I didn't know if there'd
thick
be any
pane.
kind of like.
It could be part of the illusion, though.
Yeah, true.
Can I feel along it to see if I feel any like air current or anything? If there was a way in this, maybe there'd be.
Where are you touching this?
Kind of on.
Like inside one of the rooms?
Yeah.
Touching the wall?
Yeah.
When you touch it, I mean, it's just a contiguous piece of glass. There's
Mhm.
no seams along the whole thing.
Even where it like makes contact with the floor, or.
Where it makes contact with the floor, I
I guess
guess
I'll
there is the in-between, but it doesn't seem to slide or anything. You could try to break it, but, I mean, then it's broken and you're... That's a red button that now people know you broke things,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I'm not.
In a glass room where you have no cover from any other, like it would be seen.
Hey, you know what they say about glass houses? Don't have them. They're really
That's
stupid,
true.
and people will throw stones at them.
That's probably true. So, I mean, there's lots of ways to go about this if you're really focused on this window thing, or it's probably nothing.
Do you think Mr. Buttons could explore the ventilation?
Charmingly, Mr. Buttons.
You've been through the ventilation. It doesn't approach the glass. It actually, it runs through, like if this is the wall, and this is the double doors, and then this is the glass, and then these are all the apartments, right? The ventilation shaft runs from the front, and then comes out the top of the wall, and runs all the way down, comes out the top of the wall, and then also runs into the office.
But not anywhere near the glass. He's already been up there, and it doesn't even go near the glass.
Oh.
Music stuff?
Yeah, I did.
Well, we could poke a little hole in the glass and send something through it. Just like
a little hole.
Just like a little mini one in like the bottom corner or something, so no one can see it.
Do you have
Before
anything
we
that can
break
poke a hole in
things-
glass?
No, but we could probably figure it out.
Would I, having been a thief, have any knowledge about, like, breaking into something glass without, like, shattering it? That's more high level, I'd imagine, like, jewelry thief type shit where
Well,
you're like...
Depends on the.
I mean, you have thieves' tools, and there is a glass cutter in your thieves' tools, I think, in the player's handbook. I'll say you've not used it, but you have proficiency in it. So you can try to cut a small glass hole if you'd like. Or you can try to figure out another way. Your detect magic definitely falls after this point. So detect magic's down.
I'm trying to think if there's something I can use investigation for.
What
in
if
my
it's
room
just to
specifically.
hide stuff from the outside and the inside to make it look different? Like if somebody wanted to be walking about the grounds, but didn't want guests to see.
It's I tested that with ink outside my window, and it seemed like
It could be selective on
It
who
could
it...
be.
Who it shows.
Yes.
What if they're hiding something that...
There definitely seems to be a gap in between, though. It could be selected. You don't know?
Oh, there's no like, just to double check. There's no like, tiny little gaps anywhere between
In the rooms,
the
no.
walls. Okay. I meant like not like obvious ones. Like even if it's just a little fucking sliver of something.
Yeah, I mean, unless you want to try to punch through the glass to see if your theories are correct, which you'd have to, I guess, understand if there is a corridor where it starts and ends.
Yeah.
yeah.
So,
Well, We either break the glass, go exploring in the middle of the day, or just cut our losses since we're not staying here anymore.
Maybe it's just rich people shit.
Could
You
also
already-
just be like a servant's corridor. That's what I was thinking.
Could be.
Just a way to keep them unseen, but seen enough when they have to be. I'm
You
thinking
see-
like a rich person. What do you want from me?
No, I understand. I'm just deeply
He's
sad.
right. Although he seems to take pride in his one servant.
Must be. Have we seen many others?
Well, no, they're very expensive.
So is
Points
I
to the
know.
house.
it's Mary like you, and that she is a like
Yes.
like that seems weird. It feels like she's being kind of treated like a
An object?
yeah.
That's kind of the point of it.
As far as I know, I'm the only one that's not like that.
Are you sure she's like that? Like, are you sure that she's not secretly like, I hate my life, but I can't do anything?
I don't know.
Well, that's horrifying.
I wasn't raised like she would have been, I guess, to put it.
Was she raised to be turned into that?
I think that's how it works.
Sometimes.
Oh,
yeah.
this is just slavery.
Yeah,
You're
it's-
describing slavery. That's gross. Okay.
In the same way that constructs are slaves. Like a golem.
A robot or a golem.
Right,
or
but they're
But she
like,
was a person.
but you said she was like a person, like you were a person.
I don't know that actually.
Well,
I just know that I was a little different and that they put me in a body like this. I don't really know how it worked.
all right.
But I don't know if the others start like that either.
She was being affected by necromancy magic.
Oh.
That doesn't mean there's a soul.
Mm-hmm.
Skeletons are affected by necromancy magic, don't have a soul.
That's true.
So,
Horrifying.
you ponder the existential crises that would befit a sentient but possibly not living creature. And you discuss the strange, illusory window? So, what else you got? The place isn't packed. You still have the run of the place, but slowly over
Do
the
we
course of the
wanna
day,
take a
people are.
Walk out towards the place, the black building. Just kind of like we're strolling about the gardens to get out of this place for a bit.
Can't hurt.
Sure.
So you head out the double doors. You look back at the window. Befuddles you. You follow the path toward the large sort of tree that stands in the center, and then you follow the path left down towards the black birch forest at the back of the property, and you start sloping down the hills and quickly head into the forest. And as you are there,
Nice to get some fresh air.
you are getting some fresh air. You step on the semi-leaf fallen pathway. The wintry air sort of whips around. It's definitely close to snowy weather time. Much like right exactly now in real life, where the next storm is probably going to be the one that dumps on us. And you approach the Vanta Black Cube. No one is out here. It is a, like we said before, you get to the front. It is a mausoleum of sorts. You have more light during the day now. The door stays open. You have your sources of light. You can see a little bit more. There's dozens of these plaques. Mistress still smells a funny smell. There is a keyhole in the relief in the back. And so we're here, enjoying the day. What a nice walk. What do you guys want to do?
Can I like?
He's like, push a button, please.
You guys are scared. That's fine. You've already finished your job. You don't have to be here. You can do whatever you want. You don't have to stay for the party or do anything else. This guy means nothing to you. You could go get your ring of protection. And
So you know, like when you pick locks, you can like kind of.
There's shit going on, and I want to know.
well, none of this is your job. You don't have to.
My curiosity.
You know when you pick locks, but before you actually like pick them, you can kind of rake across the top and determine how many pins are there.
I often break into places, so I know exactly.
You're
that.
a person on YouTube. I'm
We've
sure
played
you've
Elder
seen
Scrolls.
Fucking.
I know how to pick locks.
I've watched the lockpick guy on
Yeah.
YouTube.
Anyway, could I like kind of use my tools to just kind of determine like how hard of a lock is this? Like, is how many pins are there? Like, is
Okay,
this
yeah, I'll say you
solidly
can make an
built?
investigation check. And well, are you proficient in investigation?
Yes.
Okay, then just do that. As you say, this is with your thieves' tools. I'd say that
22.
This is a normal check for traps sort of situation. Are you checking for traps?
Yeah.
Okay, so do
Yeah.
that too. So 22 to check the lock, and then as you check the lock, it is a well-made lock. This is an old lock, and the key is odd. It has like as you trace the, I guess what's the word I'm looking for? The texture of the keyhole. I don't even know. As you trace it, and you sort of find like the shape of the thing.
Topology.
With a 22, I'd say this is a unique key. And I mean, like your brain goes to the Raven key pretty quick. That's a good bet. It's not for sure, but having looked at the key and looked at this, seems like a decent bet. As you check for traps, what was your score?
Is this an investigation?
Yep.
19.
19. You check for traps, and yeah, there's a trap.
Okay.
It's an old trap, but you don't know really what happens. You just know that there is a little piece inside the keyhole that if either the right key or a much harder lockpick DC isn't met, something will happen. You're not quite sure what, because you don't have enough knowledge with an 18. But yeah, you can tell that there's it's a difficult lockpick, and you can feel in there that like, we're talking. In fact, those are so good. I'll give you the DC.
Sure.
Knowing there's a trap, to not set the trap off is a 25. The lock itself is a 20.
Okay, I need to just try and pickpocket the key if I'm gonna even consider doing this.
Yeah.
That's way easier, and I could, even if I fail, come up with some lie. I don't know.
Famous last
Oh
word.
shit! You
happens.
dropped your keys.
I'll also say with the investigation check, you check like the sides. There's that little plant that's in here with the little water, and you can see a couple dead flies. And I'll say at the bottom of the relief, you can feel it's a little colder.
Yeah.
And it feels like there might be a little verticality to this. While you're in here, it's so dark, Soren. Where would you like to be? How are you feeling right now? How is it?
Anxious.
Okay, so it's not too bad. You don't see little wigglies around.
Probably just gonna wait outside anyway.
Okay.
Keep watch for us.
You wait. And you just keep watch, and you let them sort of have the thing. Are either of you two doing anything, looking around in here? Again, there's lots of these, like, mausoleum-style, like, things. And then she's working on stuff, and she's sort of, like, searching around looking for this stuff.
I'm good, I think.
I just want to lean into Soren and be like, avoiding the dark?
This is the second thing you see him do.
Yeah. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
You know, he's a little
defensive.
a little defensive, so I just like
Do you have super glue?
a little smile.
No, everything-
Okay. We should keep super glue at the table.
yeah.
Sarah smashed.
She did.
I need some super glue to
Sarah
fix an
smashed.
earring
Sarah
too.
smashed whatever spell this is.
It was on the floor. Don't keep your shit on the floor.
I didn't mean to. It fell.
And I didn't see
You
it.
smashed hypnotic pattern.
Yeah, the spell we use all the time.
Believe
We're
you do.
about to get it.
The well-used spell hypnotic pattern. So there's a little bit of time that goes by, and then Ink, you discover all of this.
Yeah.
What do you guys do?
How do you guys feel about if later tonight, maybe if Mary was around, I tried to steal one of her keys to maybe bring it back here and open this?
Why not?
Do you want to keep going further? Because once we open that door, there's no going back, and if
Well, maybe
anyone
there is. Maybe
finds
we'll
out,
open it and be like, oh, look, some interesting piece of information, and we'll close it and lock it and leave, and everything will be great.
Can we have, like, can we split up, or we have people at the party and then people...
Splitting up is probably not a great idea if
don't
some
split
of
the
us are
party
going
at
into...
the party.
Party split party.
Well,
You have two people go
Hey.
into the fucking...
A lesser DM
Crypt.
would fear this. I
Historically,
revel.
parties aren't our strong suit, so I don't think we should split
Those
the
were other
party.
people.
Those are other people. We are not. He's not.
So far, we've only had good parties.
this is my thought process. If the windows are chock full of magic, why wouldn't this be with more than just the one trap you found?
Didn't you investigate this the first time we were here? I thought you had
With
detect
detect
magic or
magic? I
something.
don't think
I
so.
don't
No.
think I
No?
did.
We have no idea what is behind this door, other than the one trap you found.
We don't have to do it. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying,
and
like,
something is weird is going
I
on.
agree, but if we open this door and there's more than just this physical trap that we found, and they know immediately, then we're fucked.
You could detect magic. Try to figure out what the trap is, if it's magic.
Yeah, I was thinking about doing that anyway. So
You gotta be in there.
Well, I'll start detecting outside.
Okay. So you start the ritual outside. It works over the course of time as you hear them sort of debate this out. And the first thing you notice is that as soon as your detect magic hits the walls, it dies. Now it doesn't stop the spell. It just
Anti-magic
There's
just
walls.
Probably just lead.
It's just solid lead.
you don't know what it is. As you walk in, do you walk in? You hold the lantern up, so
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just, yeah. I'll
Dude,
use that.
this is getting
He's
weirder
fucking
and
loaded.
weirder.
as you walk in, you detect magic on every single one of the mausoleum crypts. All of them have abjuration on them. All of them. All of them you recognize as arcane locks. All of them.
The fuck?
You can't see beyond those boxes. You detect abjuration magic on the back wall, and from the lock down to the bottom, you can see this like black sort of like outline that squiggles in between. Like, it's not like perfect. It squiggles in between the relief, sort of like around the birds and around the ravens that are on it, and then there's like a tree trunk, and it sort of goes around it, and then it gets to the bottom, and it runs across the bottom of the entire thing. And go ahead and roll an Arcana check to see what kind of like specifics you can get out of this, just by what you know about stuff. You have something with your. Get you out a D4 sometimes.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Just making sure to apply to ability checks.
Ooh, a 4.
15.
15. Take some time, and you see. We should think about what your detect magic thing is. I feel like could you talk about all your charms and stuff? I feel like there's like little charms that like, or whatever, you know what I mean?
No, yeah.
Like a little glass that was like touched by a man that died unseen. I don't know. Anyway, you're doing one of your weird shit, and you notice this, and 15 on your Arcana check. You sort of try to. It oddly is. It gives off divinity, which is odd in this time. But a very weak version. You feel as though it is weakened over time, this trap. This natural trap that's been laid on this door. And as you look at it, I mean, you as a religious person, you can roll a religion check if you'd like. But
religious person.
A religious aficionado.
I'm proficient in it.
Yeah, he's proficient. As you do so, I mean, it's pretty obvious, I think, from a player standpoint, this has aspects of the Raven Queen involved with it, in the goddess of death, and sort of, in this world, is considered a lesser god of Ordis, the god of death, which oversees, like, the broader aspects of death. The Raven Queen is an aspect. And while the worship of this deity was a little bit old school in the Vales prior to the moon crash, since nobody in the Vales really worships, it's worship has shifted to the state.
And like weird for someone to be religious.
It's very weird for someone to be religious. But the old buildings like this are all over the place because, I mean, like, the history exists. So, you think that the trap on here, while you can't know the nature of it, it doesn't seem as strong as it once was. Like, it's a weakened state. So, it also doesn't seem like an alarm. Like, it's not like letting anybody know anything. There's an abjurative presence to it, and I would say that since it's detect magic, let me look up. Necromancy. It's necromancy.
This place is loaded with magic. Every single one of these.
I will say, of note, because of that check.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No,
the arcane locks are newer.
Okay. Every single one of these plaques has their own arcane lock on them. And there's some divinity associated with that. But whatever magical trap is on it seems rather weak, so... And it's not any sort of alarm spell.
That's good.
That
is
I can
good.
detect.
Just don't know what's behind the wall.
Yeah.
Which, just to point it out, could be more traps.
Could be.
Or it could be like...
What if it's
Or
something...
he's too confident he doesn't have traps
Wait.
back there.
What if he found something magical, like an old ruin, and built over it? Concealed it with the outside. He said that you couldn't detect any magic from the outside. So, there's something down there that maybe he never made, but he found?
These arcane locks are all newer, fairly new compared to the rest of this.
It would take quite a bit of money to get these permanent, so, I mean, and a guy with lots of money. But using magic, as you know, is... I mean, he's out here in the middle of nowhere, so there wouldn't be prying eyes.
Mm-hmm.
It's an uncool thing to
It's like
do, but it's not.
cheating.
It's
But
like
everyone probably does it secretly.
it's like when Christians are like, oh, you know Constantine, and he goes and talks to Gabriel at the Catholic Church thing, and Gabriel explains that there's a difference between knowing God exists and having faith in it. There's there's sort of the faux pas of using the magic even though knowing he's dying, and it's part of the old ways, and they're trying to change. So it's not unheard of, but it's a little... This would be a violation of the ethics a little bit. But in the same way that any powerful people are hypocrites.
I was gonna say, I mean, technically, I'm magical.
Right, exactly.
Like-
Your father did the same thing. That's what I mean. Like it's part of the culture.
Yeah.
But it's sort of this underbelly, like, you know, people with like moon chips, like that's magic, that's divinity,
Yeah.
but there's an austerity to it that is a little, it supersedes the convention, especially in the rock, and so there's a little bit of this cultural. It makes you a little uncomfortable that a person with this high a station would
Use so
use
much
magic, and a lot of
magic.
it.
That just means how much worse is it everywhere else. Wait, is that Perfectus magical?
No. Well,
We haven't tested it for magic. I guess.
mine wasn't.
You can hold it up.
Yeah.
Get that. There is no magic in the Perfectus.
Okay.
So it's
So whatever was added, it wasn't magic.
It seems like whatever the
still
pursuit
organic.
is. Still organic.
100%.
They're not cutting
Free
corners.
range blood. So yeah, you stand here in front of this locked door knowing it has a minor, maybe, effect on it. You don't know what that effect would be. You can try.
I really want to.
You could open this with, and still set that off without it, like, fucking up. Like, if you got a 21, you'd set the trap off, but
Yeah.
still open the door.
Just don't know how noticeable it would be. Like, what if it's a big explosion? Even if it doesn't
It's
have
not
an
evocation
alarm?
magic.
Well, what kind was it?
Abjuration. which
And
is-
necromancy.
And necromancy.
Well, I don't want to raise a bunch of shit from the dead. What's abjuration do again? What's that
It's
one?
warding, locking,
But if
protecting.
it's Raven Queen, isn't she supposedly
She's
against
anti that,
the
yeah.
undead?
I don't know much about that.
Necromancy can also make more dead.
Should I just try this?
Necromancy
Should
is
I
not
do it?
always raising something from the dead. There's lots of... False life is a necromancy spell.
Yeah.
Gives you health.
I think like blight and stuff are
Yeah.
damaging necromancy.
Should I do this or should I try and get the key? I'm fine either way. But I do not want to do things without
Come
everyone.
Pick this later,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
maybe.
Okay.
We make appearances at the party just in case.
If I have an opportunity to take the key, I will try and do so. Perhaps if we are at the...
So you exit the Raven Crypt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. You exit the Raven Crypt. And it's brunch time. Not that they're serving brunch, that's just about the time it is.
Oh.
You can go try to see if they're serving brunch. You have the pathway in front of you. You know that one leads to a well, one leads to the homestead where Belinda and the kids stay. And there's a path you haven't taken towards the chimney stack that you've seen the old couple walk to a couple times. So
Let's
you
go
assume
that
it's
way.
there.
Yes.
Okay.
Just to go, yeah.
Okay, so you start to
Oh,
make
look.
your way over towards the cottage. And you quickly see that it is a cottage. There's sort of a long, gravelly pathway that connects into what essentially would be what we would call a driveway. They have. They don't really tend to their own space in the same way they tend to Carmine's estate. Like, there's no hedges, there's no, like, art. As you walk forward, it seems like a rural place. There's an old plow that has been used in some time. There's tools and things. It looks like people that work outside a lot. And then they have a tiny little cottage and some smoke that comes out of it. And you can hear in the back sort of the shuffling of things. There's a little like barn that's sort of open, and you can see what looks to be the workings of a we'll call it a machine. Has big tires on the back, and sort of has a risen seat. You would all recognize this as a little tractor. It is in the very, very early stages of being like repurposed, and you can hear like a cranking on it. That's what you hear. Do you guys want to approach the house more? You guys want to go talk to them?
I'm good.
I'm good.
You quickly sort of walk back down the pathway away from that house and back toward the courtyard.
Yeah.
I guess so. We should probably go mingle.
You walk back towards the courtyard, and you can see as you make it to the large sort of leafless tree that marks the confluence, the connection of all the paths into one sort of area. You can see in some of the other rooms through the glass, you can see the movements of a couple other people. Looking like people have filed in a little bit, and you can see that couple that you two saw in the lounge standing in the courtyard, walking down the center of it where there's, flowers and paths. And so, they're both walking and talking, and they have, their arms are interlocked, and there's that sort of hoity-toityness. As you approach, you do see Mary again, standing outside the double doors towards your rooms, and she looks at each of you and says, "I hope you had a delightful walk." And then you walk past her if you want, and your rooms are available.
But
She has the keys on her hip.
I don't want to walk past. Can I look at her as we're on the way and go, Mary,
Yes.
are you happy here?
Well, yes.
Okay. It took you a minute to answer.
Well, no one's ever asked me before,
No one?
but I gain immense satisfaction out of the tasks that I am given, and helping Lord Carmine with all of his tasks, and helping the guests.
Have you ever lived anywhere else?
No.
Only here?
Yes.
For how long?
Guess I'm not quite sure. A while since the estate. The estate was still being built when I was hired here. So sometime, several years. Maybe a year? Maybe more? I could ask Lord Carmine.
No,
I've
no.
never thought to ask before.
No need.
All right.
Thank you.
Can I get any of you anything?
No, we're good right now.
I'm all right, thank you.
Excellent. And I hope that your medications were up to specification.
They were perfect, thank you.
Excellent. All right. you need anything, I'll be
Oh.
around.
Could I get a couple more? I only got 2 earlier, and I figured I'd get some for my friends as well. Perfectus?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Right away. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. And she walks away, and you head towards a room.
Now I don't have to buy it later.
Yeah. She just gives you 2 perfectuses. Perfecti.
And now
Vials?
I got Trace. Perfecti.
She has no recollection of anything before living here. For a year.
And so, here we are in Lord Carmine's estate. A relatively sleepy day. You can see other people filing in over time. You don't see Lord Carmine walking around a ton, but he's around. Mary is the one that mostly seems to be corralling the situation. You don't see Belinda or the kids involved. Yeah. Honestly, it's just... I mean, there's some weird stuff here, but...
They're trying too hard to be normal.
Well, time passes in your room. What's the next thing we're trying to do? Just the party? I mean,
Just the
that's pretty
party.
late. You want to stay here all day?
I mean,
Mary's around? Sure.
There are other people around, right?
There are some other people around. There are a very few. There's a couple that are walking the courtyard that you saw at the lounge. If you just look around a little bit, the later in the day, the more people that will be here.
Yeah.
There's a couple that have gone to rooms on the other side of the courtyard that you see. An older man with a big mustache. You see just normal looking Hauvian people. There's probably about 4 or 5 other people around here. You hear a loud, raucous laughter from Carmine's office area and think he might be entertaining someone, having a conversation. But it's relatively calm here. There's not much going on. Honestly, though you have some suspicions, there's been no real... Nothing to really go on.
can I find Mary?
Yeah, absolutely. You want to jingle your bell and have her come to you, or do you want to find her where
Yes,
she's at? Okay,
we'll
so you
do
jingle
that.
your bell, ba-ding, ding, ding, and she shows up not too long from there with a rap on the door, and you open the door.
Open the door, I'll let her in, and I'll close the door.
Okay, and she steps in, and she sort of stands there in her nice sort of, again, it's like just a nice little servant dress. She stands there with her tray folded up under, keys on her hip, and she looks at you. Yes, Miss Bates.
Do you know much about the history of this estate?
The history of the Carmine estate. Yes, what would you like to know?
What is the strange black building, the
The
structure?
Raven's Crypt
Yes.
in the woods. It's an old building, an old mausoleum that was used by, I believe, the religiously devout of the Raven Queen, an offshoot of the god of death of Ordis. The Raven Queen is believed to be a now dead god or semi-god that was devoted to the what's the word? Balance between death and undeath. So to ensure that undeath didn't happen. Obviously to varying degrees of success, and was also purported to be in league with the god of time, Toll, for she oversaw many of the threads of fate. She goes on for a little bit more and gives you some more
Yeah.
shit. What's the real question you want to, like, the question is like,
Trying to find out, like, was this original to the estate? Was it
the
built?
estate was built much after the mausoleum. The mausoleum dates back at least 1,000 years.
So it had been on the grounds, and then they built the estate around it.
Yes, indeed.
Anyone in the Carmine family worship as a...
No. The Carmines are not religious. Many people in the Vales are no longer religious. Since, of course, the gods do not any longer exist,
Yes.
they don't see much reason to believe in things of fancy. And she goes on a little bit about the cultural impacts of religion.
Oh boy.
She has lots of information. She's happy to talk to you.
Yeah. I will say, is there a reason why it seems so heavily protected?
Protected?
Are they preserving the crypt? Or...
The crypt is preserved as a historical monument within the estate, and is, some care is taken to it, but it is not a well-traveled-to place, to my knowledge. I don't operate outside in that capacity. I would say... yes, I don't know anyone that really goes out there that much. It's just maintained as sort of a piece of history. Are there any other questions you have about the estate?
Why the glass windows?
Ah, yes. I'm not sure about the aesthetic reasons, but the functional reasons are for quality light flow throughout the premises. Mr. Carmine believes very strongly in the idea of placement of items and light around his living space. So he is, shall we say, a dabbler in the well, there are some Eastern practices that he's picked up on his travels. And I'm not quite sure what it's chosen, but he has taken
appropriate.
he has taken towards
Functional.
a tremendous interest in horticulture and the way that light works. In fact, the dome was commissioned by Eastern artists out of the Tong Empire. And she goes on for a little bit about that, and how long it took to make the dome correct, and it was made of expensive glass, and it's all one contiguous piece, and no magic was involved in the creation of it. It is only faceted to make sure that the sunlight, specifically based on where this building exists, to get the most possible sunlight focused into the room. And he spends a lot of time making sure that he gets vitamin D.
So he's one of those guys.
Light
that
is healthy.
Definitely suns his balls, is what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah, he suns. He suns all the time. But
I'm
he is a
going
very
to-
pale guy nonetheless, being in the Havian Vales. He doesn't get a lot of, he doesn't tan.
It's fascinating that, well, the dome is made with no magic, but why is the glass here magical?
To my knowledge, it is not. She walks over to it and she taps it. Ding, ding, ding. Oh, it is glass.
But it's magical.
Not to my knowledge. I'm sorry, I don't... She seems confused by you insisting that it's magic.
All right.
But she stands there,
I'm sorry.
defenseless, with the keys on her hip.
Why would I hurt her?
No clue.
Anyway?
So, I mean, she seems very nice, and she sort of gives you like a little curtsy. And
Would
is there
you-
anything else I can do for you?
Would you mind just
Of course, I wouldn't mind.
spending time in here, like company, to talk with?
I could from time to time. I do have duties around the estate. What do you wish to talk about? I could prepare.
Oh boy. Books? Have you read any books?
No.
You've never read any books.
No. I have gathered books. And delivered books.
I want to walk over to my bag and pull out a very small book of fairy tales that I have.
Okay.
And I want to slip that to her.
She takes it on the tray. Well, thank you.
You don't have to be in here, but you should read that.
Okay. All right.
Whenever you have free time.
She puts the tray up on one hand. Thank you. Thank you. And then she walks out into the hallway, shuts the door behind her, and you can hear her walk down the hallway. Okay. Anybody else doing anything during the day before the party? Or in the lead up to it?
Probably just going to keep writing if we're not doing anything else.
This is big ADHD shit. Just stun locked until the next
Yep.
event.
Yes.
Like, I mean, I literally can't do anything.
Yes.
Why would I? What if
Why
I
would
miss the
do
event?
anything?
What if the event it happens?
Well, we have nothing else to really do until the event.
Not if you don't want to.
And then we want to do stuff during or after the event. So
Sure. People file in on this lazy day. You spend time really lazing about. If you want to spend any time in the...
I'll go and
you want to intermingle with anybody?
Yeah, I'm gonna go and
No.
introduce myself around
You
and
taking any of these fuckers with you?
God,
One of them they're going to be weird about.
bringing him
Okay.
I'll go out and
so
do
they
it as
respect
well.
at least someone.
Okay.
And be like, introducing us. Hello, we're
And you're
the
bringing,
twins
you're
and-
bringing ink too? Hello, we're the twins.
no,
Oh.
you know
I'm
what I mean.
going
But
out
like,
either way. I do.
I didn't want to say Isaac and Isabella. Jesus Christ, it's
Well, I didn't. Yeah, I know. I just think it's funny.
No, but-
So you introduce yourselves as Isaac and Isabella Baines.
Mhm.
Okay. And you introduce yourself.
I'm
or-
Ink.
I am Ink.
Ink on skin.
Okay. So you walk into the lounge and you do see those two people before. They have started to spend time in the lounge as well. The guy with the mustache is there. You see a couple other people that are, they dress a little bit like Isaac and Isabella, but with a little bit less of that Larockian sort of thing. They seem from west or east of here. A little bit older, not young people. And as you sit down, they do this nicety thing, and you get their names, and it's like, hello, I'm Lorelei, and this is Kevin, and this is Gerald, and this is all very boring. And they sit with you, and then there's some moments that go by, and Gerald, the one with the mustache, is a little boisterous and a little loud, and looks over and goes, so how does one of your background make it to a party like this? No offense, I actually like you people. Little microaggressions all over the place.
Well, after I learned to tie my own shoes and talk, the rest was actually pretty easy, so...
Oh, that's very good to hear. And he just dismisses, like he wasn't even really listening. He doesn't get the shade at all. And so, Dr. Baines, it is?
Yes, that's correct.
Well, seems we have many people of renown here from around the place. I'm Gerald Critch.
Nice to meet you.
Yes, of the Ministry of Order. Nice to meet you.
nice to meet you.
Ah, yes, and you as well, madame.
Is it like law enforcement here or something? I'm not from the area. Ministry of Order?
Oh, Ministry of Order. We oversee a lot of things. Sometimes it's law enforcement, though. Enforcement of law here is not as needed in some other places. Yes. And you? Where are you from? And looks over the other couple. I'm Laura. I am from the Ministry of Soil. Ah, so it's you people are out here. I'm surprised that you were invited after all the trouble you've been having. Yes, well, you say trouble, and I say, what can I do? What can the Ministry of Soil do in these times? Yes, it's all quite tragic for you, but think of all the people that are here eating this terrible food, and people out west who have to try even harder. It's for the good of the country. Well, yes, that's why we're here, Gerald. Yes, I suppose. I just hope this fucking presentation isn't as boring as the rest have been. Yeah, well, as you see, Gerald and I, and along with the others who are here, are part of a contingent within the ministries to travel. I'm sure you're here for the same reasons. If they added you yet again, another minister of flesh around to see what proposal this Lord Carmine and his new age ways.
Something along those lines.
He is a bit of an unorthodox man, but
To say the least. And they sort of look at you and understand that you're young Larockian, sort of. It's the hipster city. It's the city that sort of bucks a little convention, and they sort of, they have a little bit of a fuck you, young yuppies.
yeah.
It's very old-timey Brits going to like a fucking football hooligan bar.
Yeah.
Don't touch me. So you get a lot of that. Gerald, however, has that look in his eyes, Inc. The look of many creepy, dumb men when they see a tabaxi, but you see
A mark?
Yep.
Oh, my God.
So, that's what's happening. There's a conversation sort of going on about that. Is there anything you guys want to talk about with these people? At all? Any questions? Any things you want to bring up? Just canoodling? It's fine too.
Talk about how things have changed since the release of Perfectus and Kane's passing and stuff, probably.
What do you mean, darling?
I mean, now I think our country is showing its strengths outside.
Quite. Here.
It is a shame at the passing of Kane, though, to lose a genius.
Gerald sits
Isaac
forward.
chokes on his drink.
Indeed. A sad passing for the country, for sure. There's rumors he came here a while back to this very estate.
Really?
Rushed here, they say. Yes, right around the time of his complications, they say. And maybe that's why Lord Carmine is here. Maybe that's why we've been called out this way.
Do you think
He
he's...
gained some status and some funding for something. Yes, maybe. Well, he died nonetheless, but he left us with a gift. That's for sure.
True.
I can tell you, I've never felt better. Nor have I. Feel 10 years younger. Well, have you all partaken?
I have not used it, no.
I have no need.
A true Halvian right here. My girl, if I was 5 years younger.
Oh, God, I don't even know how to rebuff that. Just
She,
kind of politely.
Lorelai goes, Oh, you dirty old man. Ignore him. You'd be his fourth. You're a terrible husband. Why would you say that? You know how it's... And you can see that they have, like, friction. And so, that happens for a while. And after a little bit of time, you can hear the sound of footsteps coming from behind you. And you look behind, and Lord Carmine is walking into the room. He's like, oh, hello, welcome. Oh, I'm so glad to see you all mingling. Well, not all of you. Where is Mary? Can you go fetch that very interesting bookman? Mary? And he looks over towards the kitchen area, and Mary sort of comes through the swinging door. And we're good. I had a battery yelled at me. I was like, hey, you're using your battery, dude. She comes out of the swinging door of the kitchen, and you can see her sort of tuck the book away. And she walks out, and goes, yes? Could you go get Mr. Lazarev?
Yes.
Sort of looks for confirmation.
Got it.
Yes.
Got it. Good memory. Mary, please and thank you. Right away, sir. And she sort of walks down the hallway. Well, mingling, I see.
Yes.
Sharing stories. Good. Keep it up. Anyone need a party favor?
I'm all right for now.
Gerald goes, yes. Yes, I do, Mr. Carmine. And what do you have? Oh, well, old chap. I've got it all. Lorelei goes, none for us, speaking for her husband. To which he and he hasn't said lots, and he goes, and
Worm.
and he goes, well, let me go scrounge up what I have, but first, a little bit for everybody, if you want it. And he takes several vials, probably 100 gold worth of 500 gold worth of perfected. They're each 50 gold each. So 10 of them. And he unfurls them and just sort of puts them down in this case where they stand up. Puts them down on the table and walks away. And just offers you guys free perfectus if you want it. At this point, on your door.
The door will open itself.
Okay, as Gary or whoever opens it, or you use your brain.
Telekinesis.
She goes, Mr. Lazarev,
Yes.
your presence is requested at the lounge by Mr. Carmine and the guests.
Okay. Yes, I will be. Yeah, I'll come with you, actually.
Excellent.
I'll just fill out
And
the
she
card
steps
for you.
aside, and you see the keys jingle at her hip, and the trays.
You want us to take those fucking keys so bad?
It's like they're there. Take them.
and the tray
The keys
is
every
there.
time.
Well, the most noticeable thing. And you walk out, and the door shut behind you, and she takes you down and leads the way down towards the lounge. And there in the lounge, you see the scene. And who drinks Perfectus?
Nope.
Can't. Don't need it.
I'll take one, but I'm not going to drink it yet.
Okay. So you slam one. You get +1 to all skill checks.
Nice. How
Until,
long does this last?
Until your long rest.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, you slam one, and it feels you don't really feel a change, but it is refreshing. It tastes like something healthy, so there's a tonic-y-ness to it, and you expect a health potion because it's the same color.
Yeah.
It's not like that. It's it's almost like sweet. It's almost like it's not saccharin or anything, but rose water. It's very mild, but has that herbaceousness of medicine. You just take one?
Yeah.
You can totally just take one.
Take one and pocket it.
Yeah. So you have some perfectus. You got perfectus in your blood. Okay. Anything you guys want to talk about before Carmine gets back? As you look out to all these people, anything you want to say? Carmine walks out, and he brings out not just the spoons or the little smoky boys for the moonshots. He brings out a glorious like bowl with like a nice little like tin lid. It's a clear, almost like a fish bowl, but it's like a beautiful like serving bowl of the thickest, stickiest buds of halfling root you have ever seen. He brings out.
It's like drug time.
He brings out. Yeah. He brings out a huge orange decanter with a large, looks like a bulb, like almost like a bulb of garlic at the bottom, but like shaped.
Dude, is he just like a stoner?
But it's a ruby decanter, and it goes up into a long
the secret
flute.
family.
Anyone with history proficiency?
Yeah.
You just, if you
Oh,
have
I
it, you know what
do.
it is. You don't have to. You
Oh,
have to
okay.
Be bougie.
Yeah.
Okay, so all three of you recognize this as Ostian, which is a far away,
Real far
away place, and very hard to get 30 years post moon crash. So probably had it before, aged, beautiful
That's an
Ostian wine.
antique.
Oh yeah, it's like when someone brings out the old Scotch. This was 700 years old or whatever.
That's not Oasis port wine.
It's not what?
It's not the Oasis port wine.
Yes, it is.
It is?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that. Oh, fuck
Yeah, I
me,
told you
dude.
the long fluted bottom and the
Oh, it haunts me.
it's the other campaign.
I figured.
But it is from Ostia. And some other things. You see some like little pills. You see some. That might be it. Oh, you see some like herbal like clove tobacco. People here don't smoke classic tobacco because it hurts your body. They sort of like smoke potpourri essentially. Like it's like a statusy thing. It's very strange.
As we all know, smoke is really good for your body.
Well, they don't inhale it. They just sort of like perfume the room with it. It's like they have like long stems, and they just sort of like puff on it and sort of. Some people smoke, but most people don't. So there are party favors for you if you'd like them.
Free drugs.
Yeah,
Is
he's.
he Harold Penisman? Is that
No.
twice?
He sits
Finally.
down next to Gerald and puts his feet up. His toes sort of wiggle, and he takes some of those. He takes one of the perfectuses,
Barefoot.
and he
Did
sort of
Tarantino
House.
direct this
he
episode?
uncorks it and he sort of smells it and he corks it back up and he sets it down, and he sort of gives like a satisfied like, and he just sits and starts to talk with you all for a little bit, and so he goes. So, many of you have been selected here to come to the party tonight for various reasons. What's the leading theory? Gerald moves forward. I've got no idea. Well, I mean, we were speculating a little bit before. Yes, do tell me. He looks over to the woman. Well, it must be about the Ministry of Soil's problems. Maybe a little. Yes, there is some funding from your ministry here, of course. But the Ministry of Order. Yes, well, Rydiger must oversee such things, yes? And the Ministry of Flesh is here as well. Unplanned. Unplanned. But I am from the Ministry of Flesh, of course. Now, what is interesting is that yesterday these four showed up unannounced to the estate and wanted to see the party for themselves. Is that still true?
This is correct.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, so I hope that you give all of our guests the utmost respect. Looks at Gerald. And I do hope that you find it entertaining and fun. The party will start in about an hour. You will be retrieved from your rooms or from here. Well, from your rooms. We must clear this. Looks around at the lounge. Any questions?
No.
No, I'm all set.
This one's quite a storyteller. Gets up and walks down to his office and closes the doors behind him.
Guess it's to our rooms then.
I suppose. Well, it was nice meeting all of you. I am sure the party tonight will be exciting. I don't know what to expect.
Me either.
No insights at all.
No?
Got none.
You know, there's rumors that sometimes Carmine selects people for the after-hours party.
After hours?
You have to impress in some way, of course. Show them. Maybe something special? Not sure. Never been. Well, I think that's probably just his eccentric ways. If I was a man with this much money, I'd do the same. After hours liaisons with various guests. Gerald, go to your room. So Lorelai scolds Gerald. He gets up, walks away. She takes her husband and walks to the other wing, the way you're not from. And you are left to your own devices.
Ink has to pee again before the party.
Ink casts pee.
What's the range on pee?
Oh no!
Up to 10 feet.
No!
Okay. Disadvantage if I'm like in 5?
No. Disadvantage if you're past 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got a 5-10 range, like a crossbow. So,
I guess I'm gonna have Mr. Buttons climb around in the vents and watch them rearrange.
you have an hour. You want to watch them rearrange the room?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't know what the fuck else to do.
Sure. You have Mr. Buttons, and he sits there and watches. He watches the two older people, Mr. and Mrs. Pickett, along with Mary, move a bunch of furniture out front. And then that's it.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else you want to do for the hour?
I'm good.
Isaac, is there anything I should know as far as, like, traditions, customs, parties here socially? I don't want to make a scene.
Just watch what we do, and you'll be fine.
Fair enough.
Are we all in one room?
Can be.
I assume we would be hanging out.
I guess so. So we're not bored as shit.
How good are your manners at the table?
Honestly, I think him standing
enough.
out might
Might be
actually
better.
be a good idea.
Well, if we go by the traditional Ponte, since technically I guess you would be considered entertainment, you usually have a little bit less rules than we do.
But also, Lord Carmine clearly doesn't,
Care that much about
and he likes weird,
Rigidness?
eccentric things. So, as weird as you can be.
Can I wear the poncho?
It would probably get attention on you.
Yeah, wouldn't be a bad idea, actually.
I think that's called peacocking.
And she'd know about pee.
Fuck off.
So, you have an hour to kill. Is there anything you'd like to do? Any preparations you'd like to make? Any investigations you'd like to have? You could just leave.
I'm good. I have to wait to do any more stuff, so.
I want those keys so bad, but I'm gonna wait until after whatever this fucking presentation is, or whatever he's gonna try and...
Okay.
I want to see what this presentation is.
He's gonna be
So
like, look,
bad.
my children are fucked up. I fucked them up.
Maybe.
But like in a good way. He's gonna be like, this is good though.
So, time moves forward.
That usually goes without saying.
Unless you are in the last campaign.
We fucked with time a lot.
We only went back in time once.
Oh, I have some weird conspiracies.
But we also time jumped.
Weird conspiracies.
That's true. But we still went.
Would you like to use this
Okay.
hour to share some weird conspiracies
I
with
don't-
them?
Do-do-do-do.
Okay, I don't know if this is my brain or I'm trying to figure out how Isabella would think about these possible scenarios.
You read a lot of stories, dude. It's the same way Sarah would get this information.
I guess so.
It's literally the same.
My theory is locked up right
Okay,
here.
what's everyone's theory? Let's
All
go.
right.
Well, it's not a theory.
Wait.
It's a test.
All right. First of all, we could have a situation where the children were not well, and he tried to fix them a lot, and maybe those are like clones, like corpses of copies of his children locked in the weird necromancy crypt. That's one guess.
What was that speculation based upon?
They
Because
said
I
that-
see your A and C. I don't see B. I see that there's...
I talked a bit with Mary, and she said that the crypt wasn't original to this place, that it was built around it. So, what if, and this place is relatively new, what if he came here specifically because he wanted something in the crypt, and he fixed his children with something magical instead of something?
We already know he is fine with using magic vis-a-vis the windows.
But maybe there's an issue, and there's a reason why everything has to be locked in the crypt.
Perhaps. Perhaps, similar to what you said, he took matters to help his children with his whatever magic something that led to what we saw in the woods. Clones or not, or whatever.
Something.
Yes. Something happened to them. And he has been hiding them and his wife. Perhaps until tonight, if that's part of something he is presenting.
Could be. I'm trying to think of
Leading theories.
my other theory.
Oh, I don't have a theory yet. I gotta run my test before I have a theory. That's my problem.
How do you not have any idea of what could possibly be happening?
I think he's turning everyone into dolls.
Turning everyone into dolls?
There's only
That's
one
one-
doll.
Well, there's two, kind of. But, you know, only one
We don't know
related
that
to
the
this
kids
place.
aren't.
But
And
the dolls aren't made here. They're brought in from the Tong Empire. Is where they're made.
even the part with the necromancy.
I'm not sure, but I don't know why he would just make a servant like that.
Well, I think people might want that to escape the limitations of mortal flesh.
But she seemed to have no agency. It wasn't like a person put in there like I was.
I mean, she could be a special case for him, but
I think she's just another one of his fancy toys. There's something else going on with the family, and possibly Perfectus.
Which leads me back to my hypothesis.
Which is?
What if, theoretically, you could take Perfectus, mix it with blood, and replace someone's entire bloodstream with Perfectus blood?
Ingesting it would.
No, but
clean your
I'm
blood.
not talking about just ingesting it. I'm talking about a full transfusion where you're combining the two completely through the whole system.
How would that change?
You could do transfusions to do it quickly, or you could slowly drink Perfectus daily and do the same effect.
Oh, you're saying like cure the whole body at once rather than
Yes.
over time.
Mm-hmm. If you used enough Perfectus, it's a possibility.
To just permanently fix someone.
If you have enough of it, you might be able. It would have to be able to recreate itself. But if you have
Also-
enough of it, I've never tested that high quantity before.
It's also a bit concerning that they said that Cain was rushed here when he was in a dire state.
Mm-hmm.
They're all doing something fishy behind the scenes. I just don't know.
The only thing
why.
is like, if those kids in the wheelchairs in his office were his, and the ones out there are the same ones,
They run.
he must have found a permanent fix.
Or
Not
something-
temporarily.
It wasn't even just a fix, it made them faster. Those are not normal children.
Which Perfectus Enhanced might help that. But I don't know, I've never tested that much at one time before. That's a lot of Perfectus.
You give me
3 or 5 liters of blood in the body?
5.
A lot of Perfectus.
how many ounces is that? Why don't you know conversions,
Ounces in a
guys?
liter. 32?
32
I
liters.
think 32 ounces in a liter. That's
You drank
probably
1 liter.
super wrong.
So you drank a fifth of blood earlier.
A fifth of a person's worth of blood.
Yep.
33.8.
There you go. So pretty much. So, I'll say go ahead and make just a medicine check in general to try to think about like the calculations in your head of what you're trying to knock around.
Fuck. 10.
10. You are the creator of this compound. It's not that
Fair.
hard to think about it. You'd have to do, obviously, like, major testing will confirm some things. But a leading hypothesis with this is that, yeah, you could transfuse for an immediate effect. You think it would take a while of daily Perfectus consumption to like weeks to clean the blood in the way that it is cleaned.
Well, we haven't. How long has it been since Belinda was heard from?
Months?
3 months? 2 months?
It's a possibility that he was hiding them until it was completed.
2 months ago was the last time she wrote.
It's 8 weeks. That's plenty of time for 3 people. Or they found some way to self-replicate it inside the formula, which would be impressive, but probably impossible.
Maybe we just go to this presentation and see what it's about.
Oh, I'm not missing this for the world. I have to see it.
And Soren, you have to be weird. How are the rest of us going to stand out? I guess I could.
I have some ways.
So, you have this conversation for a little bit. You have a little bit of time here. Is there any last explorations you want to do before we commit to the party scene and get your party on and head to wherever that is held? I'm not just incentivizing you to try to get keys or anything, but you had a
Just
lead
feels
with...
like that thing in a game right before the final
Are you
mission.
sure
you
wanna save?
continue?
There's no going back after you continue.
Well, also, it's just like the next scene.
Yeah.
So, don't let me cut you off, but you had leads at obviously the Raven Crypt, the glass that you're still standing behind right now. You didn't punch a hole in. You still try to do something there. There was some Mary stuff, and then whatever you got in your mind.
I was just gonna say, if we're just heading off to the party,
Uh-huh.
I'm tucking my gloves away. I'm gonna go gloves, not on when she normally has them on all the time, because the joints are obvious.
Trying to be interesting.
A little.
Okay.
Conversation starter.
Yeah.
We can't be flashy. That's tacky.
Yeah.
You're
Okay.
sure they're not going to assume you are, I don't mean to be rude, they might assume you are staff.
No.
Well, they've already met her. I
Alright.
wouldn't assume.
And you can see my dress.
Alright. Ink says as a cat person.
Okay. And so nothing?
I'm good.
All right. You all, one by one, get a knock on your door, and it is Mary. It is time for the party. I was asked to collect you. And you see her standing there with the keys on her head. And she is ready to guide you to wherever that is.
Follow our
Let's
will.
go.
Okay. No spells being cast or abilities being used in this scenario. You're just going raw dogging it. Okay. You follow her back toward the lounge area, and she says to you, "The other guests are already in the Chamber of Flesh, but you may follow me." And she walks over to the fountain, and she sticks her hand in the fountain with a key, a brass ball key. She goes in the water.
What the fuck?
You don't hear it splash or interact with her. She turns the key.
Fake.
It's
The
an
fountain's
She turns the
fake.
key. The water stops moving and sort of just fizzles away. And then you hear the whole globe starts to lift up and screw into the air. And revealing is sort of like a tube elevator thing, but you look into it and there's a spiral staircase that goes down into the dark. Please.
I'll start heading
Yeah,
down.
I'll follow.
You take steps into the darkened spiral staircase space. You can hear the echo of your footsteps and the footsteps of the others with you here, and you can feel just the drastic drop in temperature as you are going subterranean. As you walk down and down and down, and you calculate in your head just passively maybe 20, 30 feet. And you hear above you. Mary doesn't follow down with you. And that's where we're going to end the session.
Aw, fuck you.
And so we'll be back after
That was a good cliffhanger.
we go on break. I can't believe your restraint in some areas. There is a veteran vibe to the D&D experience in this second campaign.
God, I
don't
would hope
just-
so.
We don't just poke everything we see immediately. You
I
go,
hope we play a
note
little
that
bit."
for later.
No,
and
I know.
if I need it, I'm coming back.
Yeah, I absolutely expected this.
By our third campaign, I think we should be a little bit more.
No, I think we're gonna go back to chaotic.
Yeah, I think we're
third
gonna glue
campaign-
back around
Third
to we
campaign
know what
is
we're
gonna
doing.
be so fun based on what we've all talked about. By the way, did I say that Hannah pitched me her character for that?
wow.
And it's like fucking, I love it. So I'm loving all the characters for that
Oh,
campaign
yeah.
for the record.
Yeah,
Every
we
single
talked
one
a
of them.
good
Every
bit.
single one of them are fucking cool. And so now that's the campaign after this.
Yeah.
So that'll be years from now. But that's when campaign ideas begin.
I want to
Is-
find something like meaty for mine, so we gotta
Yeah.
talk about it. I can't fucking
Yeah.
nail it down yet.
Yeah. I mean, we have a pretty good outline of what we.
I'm talking about like backstory stuff. Like I just need to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, years for that. No,
I know,
no
but
rush.
like,
Yeah,
but
it's-
like the
it's-
seeds now, like what we do with Isaac,
it grows
right? Like,
and just.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about Isaac for 2.5 years before we even put anything on paper. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's fun. So, excellent seshi. Yeah, I appreciate you. Good work, everyone. Not doing stuff, doing stuff. We'll be back after Sarah and I have a family engagement to go to, and then we'll be back the week of Christmas, right?
Oh, also, can I shout out a thing?
Of course you can shout out a thing.
Me and my friends are doing a big charity thing for Trans Lifeline this Saturday. If you follow me on Twitter at Legend of Phoenix, I'll be posting about it for sure. But
sure we'll write in also
it'll
on
be
my
the
stream.
Twitch channel Lily Valor. And it's 12 hours. So if you're like, oh, I don't know if I can make it, literally 12 hours. You can show up at some point to show support. So
And there's going to be...
we have DJs, dancers, and bards for the entire 12 hours, and they're doing interviews with like community members
Yeah.
about like why people do this
It's like
stuff.
going to a party on Twitch.
Yeah, like the
Yep.
whole time. So-
And if you play Final Fantasy, I believe you could attend.
yeah, you
such a
can
thing.
actually attend in-game, come see the shows. You could go to see the DJs. We have a dedicated location for the whole thing.
Yeah.
So
So that's very cool. Yeah. And next time we'll get into whatever the party is going to be. So
I'm stoked.
oh boy.
I'm very excited. We love your faces. I'm looking forward to more of the good stuff. I'm excited to see how you'll react to what is about to happen.
Oh boy.
It's fine. Every party goes fine. Every time we've had a party in D&D, it's been fine.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
True.
Help.
Wow, he's really excited for us to fucking be done, isn't he? Okay, we love your faces. Have a wonderful night. Thanks for hanging out with us. He's just back up the fucking stairs.
Jesus.
All right, let's go take care of this dog. Slurp, slurp.